a long day.
I don't know if they have the countdown. 30 seconds. Hello, hey guys, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hey,
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I hope audience can hear us.
Yeah, I'm gonna
All
come after work.
Hi.
I'm gonna come.
Okay. Tonight is not about choosing between being single or being married. Hey, darling, how are you? Hi, sweetheart. Oh, you're so pretty. You're so pretty.
Girl.
Hey, how are you? Well, darling, they're twins. Twins.
Oh, they are.
They are.
You guys are pretty lovely girls.
Oh, you look so gorgeous. They're so gorgeous. Hey. Hey. All right, guys. I think we're live streaming. All right, thank you, guys. So I'm gonna start.
What did you say?
I'm gonna start. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Tonight is not about choosing between being single or being married. It's about choosing safety in whatever season you're in. So I'm going to introduce my guests with me. So we have Bliss Ivy. Bliss is a midwife, a mother of two, entrepreneur, and upcoming author who has a podcast called Sisters Narratives and a YouTube channel. She brings lived experience on rebuilding, resilience, and how emotional safety impacts every area of your life. Welcome, Bliss. Welcome. Welcome. Great stuff. And then we have Anil, Shani. Anil, I think I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Anil Shani.
Anil Shani. I love that. And it's like so easy. Anil Shani.
Yeah.
Shani is an entrepreneur and an owner of mailboxes, etc. in Worcester with a background in supply chain and business development. And he brings a married man's perspective on emotional maturity and responsibility. Welcome, Anil. Welcome, guys. Thank you for coming. And if you don't know me, my name is Sandra Kaima, and I'm your host for today's conversation. So we're going to start because we got in a little bit late because we had an issue with the black liner. That's why we got in a bit late. So the first question is, what does emotional safety mean to you personally? So we're going to start with Anil because you came late. So you get punished for coming late. So what does emotional safety mean for you?
I think emotional safety is somewhere where you're like a stable home or stable environment that you feel safe and you can be yourself and you're at peace and you can flourish within that environment.
Okay. This light is gone. Sorry, I'm having issues with the lights. Okay. What about you, Bliss? What do you think? What does emotional safety mean to you personally?
I agree completely with Anil. Just to add a perspective, it's you being able to be yourself in the presence of whoever it is without fear of judgment. That's it. Just in addition to what Anil has said, yes.
I mean, I think, well, for me, emotional safety means being able to be myself around like different emotions. For example, if I'm angry, I could be myself around you. If I feel like I'm angry, I could be angry around you. If I'm sad, I could be sad around you. If I want to cry, I can cry around you, and you give me that space for me to be that person, like for me to be the angry. Like when I'm, everyone has their times, right?
Yeah.
But if you're emotionally safe, especially in relationships, especially with a partner, it's really nice for you to be able to for them to hold space for you to be angry when you're angry, and they know, okay, Sandra's angry today. Like, I'm gonna hold the space for her. Or she's she's teary, she's sad, she's feeling, and sometimes emotional space could be being happy. Like when I'm jolly, I want to be jolly all the time. Like somebody can't expect you to be jolly all the time. I think it's It's also when you are yourself. Like I think I definitely agree with you guys what you're saying, and I think you were all saying the same things. You have to be yourself in that space. And if you can't be yourself in that space, what does that mean? Does that mean that you shrink to fit in the environment that you're in? You shrink to make someone else happy, or you shrink because that's what is expected of you? So I think emotional safety, to me personally, is being able to be free to express myself in the relationship, whether it's in a marriage relationship, whether I'm single and I'm mingling with my girls, or with
Yeah.
being able to have that space, so they know, okay, everyone has emotions.
Yes.
It's whether or not we can express them, right? Comfortable, Anil?
Yeah, I am.
Finally. But
Okay.
Sandra, with emotional safety and being able to be yourself around someone, are you just a quick one? Do you consider if the other person has triggers that they've experienced before, and then you're displaying it at that moment, and they are not able to handle it? So it might not mean that they're really opposed to you being emotional, vulnerable around it. It might just mean that they have experienced something before, and then what you are displaying now is like a trigger for them, and then they're either running into their shell in that space of emotions.
You mean like being able to? I think sometimes you need to get to know the person. Like,
Yeah.
it's time tells, and time tells. The longer you get to know a person, the more you get to know that person, this triggers that person, and that does, and in that time, they allowing that person to express themselves when they can in that emotion, whatever they're feeling, whether it's joy or happiness or sadness. So I think you're right. You've got to get to know people. And that's why it's important when you go out with someone, or when you're in a relationship with someone, you've got to get to know them. You've got to have that conversation. You've got to talk to them. You've got to spend time with them. The longer you spend time with that person, the more you know, okay, this is what triggers that person. This is what, when I say this, it makes them feel uncomfortable. When I say that, this is what, so the things not to do in order to make that person comfortable. Or that sometimes they feel sad. Maybe they had a death in the family and a birthday's coming up. And for example, and they might feel really, really sad. And because you're getting to know them, you're getting to know, okay, well, in January, my auntie died, and this is why I feel so sad around about that time. So please space for me. So it's getting to know the person, and that's through talking to that person, through connecting with that person, through spending time with that person. So the more you spend time with someone, the more you get to know them, and the more you get to understand that, okay, when it's January in winter time, this is the time when they experience sadness, not only because it's cold and dark outside, but it's because this is the time where their auntie died and they feel really, really sad. So I'm gonna hold that space for them. I'm gonna maybe make them a cup of tea. Maybe they want to be in the room quietly. They don't want to pray in that room quietly, and they don't need me to come with anything else.
Yeah.
So it's getting to know that person.
So it goes both ways. It goes both ways for us and for them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, for both male and female, or in whatever relationship you're in, it goes both ways. Yeah, definitely. How are you feeling, Anil? You look like you're all over here. Like, if I can find somewhere to sit down.
Me, I'm all right. I just got in.
Oh, sorry. Do you know, I was walking in the rain today, and I was like, oh my God, it's raining, and when is it gonna stop?
Yeah, it's been wet yesterday, today. A wet one.
Raining. So, I forgot to say, Anil is in Birmingham, by the way. For anyone who's watching, Anil's in Birmingham and Bliss is in Preston. So, guys, and I'm in London. So, we're all over the place. We're not just in London. We're in London, Birmingham, and Preston. So, shout out to Birmingham, and shout out to Preston, and shout out to London.
Exactly. She sounded like a French lady. Preston. It's Preston.
Preston. All right. Thank you for correcting me. So, number 2, what makes someone feel emotionally secure? can start
Secure
with
or insecure?
emotionally secure. What makes someone feels emotionally secure? What will make someone emotionally secure?
I think around someone, what makes you emotionally secure is knowing that this person, like we just said, can hold a space for you in your good times and in your bad times. And this person, sometimes you're in a relationship with someone and it feels like there is a competition going on. It feels
Yeah.
like, it literally feels like you're battling for something.
Mm.
You
Is the
can
power struggle?
exactly, you can't put a finger,
Yeah.
but you're trying
Yeah.
to achieve something. You find that this person is trying to achieve that thing. Everything you set to do, they're not doing it in tandem with you or alongside you. They're trying to get ahead of
Yep.
you doing. And then when you notice you're in that kind of situation, you sort of want to hold back, thinking, what's going on here? Are we struggling for something? What's going on in that kind of situation? You feel, oh, it feels like there's a power tussle here somewhere. And in that regard, you really can't be your real self. And in any friendship, relationship that you can't really exhibit your real self, you won't feel secure. You almost always feel like there's a battle going on. And you can't really say if you're struggling for what you're struggling with or for, but you just feel like there's a battle going on. There's some tussle going on there.
So what makes someone feel emotionally secure? What would make you feel emotionally secure if you were
Because
in a
you feel like you're
If
always
you're compatible with that person,
eggshell.
mm,
Yeah,
mm, if you're compatible with that person, you feel emotionally secure.
yeah.
Everything feels natural organically, like a strong, nice team.
Mhm.
Whatever you do, it just flows. It just whereas some people you with them, but it's like a competition or you're sizing each other up or the power struggle. I'm better than you. It never feels like very genuine. It's all for the greater team. And you
Mhm.
can see that in some relationship. The way
Mm,
people engage with one another, and you can see people compromising for each other, which is quite sweet to see, which is
Yeah.
very hard to find nowadays.
So to feel
okay, so
secure, you have to be supported. You have to feel supported. You have to feel carried along to feel secure. You have to feel that the person's got your back. The person is watching out, looking out for you, and you are
mm,
doing the same. You are doing the same. It's like it's more of a symbiotic relationship where it's a give and take. You're watching out for each other. You've got each other's back. In that regard, you definitely will feel secure.
And financially as well, that helps because
what do you mean?
Okay.
because yeah, because especially I'll speak for the women, ladies they tend to worry a lot, and sometimes if the husband is entrepreneurial, sometime in the early days, cash flow, things are tight. It's
Mhm.
very volatile. There's no stability. One
It's
minute it could be money. Oops, next week you're
nothing.
struggling. You're
Yeah.
I
struggling
think
for
what you're
essential. Hmm?
In that regard, if you carry her along, if
saying.
she understands the struggle, she may not feel so insecure as you would have expected because she knows who you are. She knows what you can do when there is money. So
Mm.
emotionally, she will feel secure with your decisions. She might be anxious about finances, but she may not tie it emotionally to you because she knows and she trusts you, and she can feel secure around your decisions around money. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think
sometimes some women they're not very business oriented either.
Mm.
Is that
that's what
that
we mean by that.
uncertainty for some people it doesn't cut it. For someone
No, I
like you, Bliss, the ups and down, you've got high emotional intelligence. You can handle it. Whereas you'd be
I know.
surprised.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to disagree with you with that one. You know why? Because I think what you're saying is that sometimes women are insecure because they don't like the risk taking,
No,
and they have
some
to be
women, not all of them. Some.
some
So,
women, and they don't
yeah.
understand it. But you don't think that in a marriage you have to reassure that person that okay, this is what
Carry them
sometimes this
along. Yeah.
might happen.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Carry
You
them
can
along.
reassure them. I think you have to understand that. For me, I believe what I'm thinking in my head is, okay, you're in a relationship with that person. You have to reassure them, because sometimes what we all have to understand is, whether you're single or whether you're married, things are not always going to go the way you want them to go. In any, whether you're a business person, whether you're working, so you're always going to take, and sometimes you have to take risks, and sometimes those risks have consequences. At the beginning of any relationship, or not even at the beginning, in any relationship, when you do take a risk, somebody has to, when the risk doesn't go the way you should or the way you want it to go, sometimes you've made a sacrifice, and you all have to feel the pinch. So you're feeling the pinch, your wife is feeling the pinch, your children are feeling the pinch. So the way I'm looking at it is, okay, you have to reassure each other, okay, we're going to make this decision right here. It might have an impact. It might have a positive impact on us. It might have a negative impact. What are the risk factors? How far are we going with this? So, for example, you've only got £100 in your bank account, and you're going, and that, for you to get onto that course, it's going to cost you £100. That means you're going to have zero money in your account, right? Which means that you may not be able to eat tomorrow.
Yeah.
How are we going to manage that risk to get that? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, in terms of, I think, what makes someone feel emotionally secure is reassurance. And even if things don't go the way you want it to go, you'll be reassured that we're going to stick together. We're going to work together on this. Even if you have to go to your mother's house and get the food,
Exactly.
you're going to go together. And you're going to be like, okay, we took a risk. You're going to be honest with each other and say, we took a risk. It didn't work out. So we're going to go to knock on our friends' doors and ask for those potatoes.
Yeah.
All right? Because that's what for the whole month until money comes back in. And I think it's reassuring. It's like if someone comes to me and says, oh, Sandra, you know what? This is a business idea. I've got this incredible business idea. What do you think? We sit down, we talk about it. Should we go ahead or should we not go ahead? I can turn around and say, okay, let's go ahead. But I know we've talked about the risk. We talked about, if it doesn't go well, this is what we're going to do. If it goes well, we're going to succeed. We're going to be happy, right? So I understand, Anil, what you're saying, and I agree with you to a certain extent. Women are they're warriors. I worry a lot. You know, honestly, whenever I make a decision, I wonder, oh my God, is this the right decision or not?
Yeah,
and sometimes your gut, do it, go ahead, you know, like do it. And then the other side is telling you, well, if I do it, what are the consequences? What's going to happen?
Especially when you have dependents and you have children. Yes.
Can I tell you something as well? Everybody is afraid to be told, I told you so. I knew it wasn't going to work out. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, people don't want to listen. People are so afraid of failing that they don't even take a risk. And women, I'm talking about me as a woman. Sometimes we are so afraid of what people are going to say about us that we, you know, do you know what I mean? We don't take risks.
Yeah.
You know, we don't, because we're so afraid,
we
right?
Want to stay in the safe zone. We want to stay in a comfort point where we know definitely this is, even if it's strict, even if it's next to nothing, but at least it's something, it's regular. We want to stay there.
Do you know, Anil, and I like Anil because he takes risks. He takes risks, and that's why you've become successful, right? And you're always telling me, so go to Birmingham, do this, do that, do this, and I like that because you take risks. But sometimes I have to think, is what risk am I taking, and what are the consequences of that risk? I've got a child I'm holding, and I'm holding this child.
Yeah, but life is about living, you know.
It is about living, but then you also have to balance it out and say, okay.
Yeah, you balance it out, but you're a child of God. Like, what's the worst could happen? You know, if you're not gonna die from me, you're gonna learn a lesson, you know.
So what? You could go hungry, you could go homeless.
You end up living on the street, right? Yeah, you end up living on the street.
I doubt it. In England, we're quite fortunate, you know. If you're struggling, you could even go to the job center. Yeah, you're at the bottom. The job center will help.
People don't want to do that. Some people don't want to do that.
Yeah, but it's who wants to do that? But it's happened. You know, okay. If I lost everything I have or I've worked for, I'll go to the job center and be humbled. I need to eat and get myself back on my feet.
Yeah, it's a starting point again. It's like a start.
Well, I'm either gonna die or I'm gonna be homeless on the street. I need help. And job center is always willing to help. Okay, I can do course and upskill, get a better job, or they can even help me with some funding to start a little side hustle, a little project. So there's one thing about Britain. There's always help somewhere if you know how to look and how to ask, and if you're humble enough.
Also, you have to qualify though. That's another point you have to look at. You have to qualify.
Mm,
You have to qualify for that.
yeah,
Some people don't have recourse to that.
they don't have what?
Recourse to that support.
What, to go to the job center if they're struggling?
They don't have recourse to public funding.
Oh, you mean they don't have the right legal documentation, you mean? Or
Yeah, to that point to get that support.
yeah,
So,
of course. I'm only talking if you're a British citizen. I know some people don't have that. I'm only saying for myself. If I'm struggling, I'm straight to the job center. I'll be
Straight.
honest. Yeah. It's not the best thing for anyone. It's not the most prideful but it won't take me long. Probably in 3 months to 6, no more than that. I would have found something else.
And at that time, your partner's emotions will be all over the place. We're back to the emotional security again.
Yes. Yeah, but it just reassurance. Look, babe,
Yeah.
this is just a temporary.
Mm.
Everything is temporary. It's like season.
Yeah, that's true.
If the person is the right person, they're with you for the right reasons. Everything is temporary. Okay, I was there for 3 months. It wasn't great, but we got over it. And she'll remember that. And when the
Can I
good
ask-
times come,
Can I ask you a question? Is there been a time in your marriage that you felt like you had to reassure your wife, or do you
of
think
course. Oh my God, plenty of times. If I tell you half of the stuff I've had to do in the early days, you'd be like, "What?" Yeah.
Sorry, give us a story. What
Mm,
did you have to do? This? Give us a story.
plenty.
Give-
I married my wife when I didn't even have a graduate scheme job that was secure according to society. But I had entrepreneurship. I says, look, this is what I believe in. When we had the kids after our wedding, the money has drained.
How did you reassure her that what, with all this mess
I-
going on,
the way I reassure my wife is I'm good at what I do. I'm good and I produce results. For me, life is not always monetary results as your work. You gotta perform. Yeah. I put pressure on myself. I look at myself as a striker. If I don't deliver, I must be fired.
Oh wow.
He's very good.
If I don't deliver, I must be fired. I believe everybody should be fired if they're not performing. Because you can't be carrying people, passengers. It's draining. That's one thing I reassure anybody. My team, my wife, I will deliver. I've had it when things were tough in my relationship. I've had it when things were tough in my business. I can't even pay the staff. But they've stuck with me because they know I can deliver.
Oh, good.
So yeah, I've been there. It's not all roses and glass ceilings. People think, yeah, even the landlords. Hey, this month. But it's about communication. And again, if people believe in you, you will deliver, which I keep saying. Touch would have yet to be fired, because I always go above and beyond to deliver, So that's very important because people could see that you give your all, it's all or nothing. And they're willing to work with you. And they look back, say, we can't imagine we survived that.
Right.
I think it's having that being able to actually give that person reassurance and that person believing in you that whatever happens, you're gonna do whatever is possible for us to go to get to the other side.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me. What about the fact that sometimes some people are very emotional, others are not? So, for example, like I said to you about being emotional. Personally, I want to be able to be in an environment where I could be angry. If I'm angry, I'm angry. If I'm upset, I'm upset. So you can see that. What about when you can't give back that anger? Like when you don't show your emotions to that person? Would you think that will cause emotional security, or would that make that person feel less secure being around you because you're not sharing and they're sharing? or
Well,
you're
that,
sharing, they're not sharing.
but well, some people like that, especially men, they tend to keep everything to themselves. But with me, what you see is what you get. The good and the bad. I tell you. So, I like to let you know where you are. If things are good, I'll let you know. If I'm not feeling good, if I'm bad, I just say if I'm angry or you've pissed me off, I tell you. You know. So I don't pretend. Even
Hmm.
yeah, I- I'm I'm lucky. I could be vulnerable to my right people. Tell them, you know what? I'm down. You know, things are not working out. You know, no, rather than pretending I'm fronting. You know, because pretending you could be suffering in silence. And the main thing is I'm very positive, so I try. One of my saying is negativity adds no value or any quality into anything. So let's just focus on the positive, you know, rather
So,
than. Hmm?
hmm. So we go back to the fact that reassurance is what you need to do in order to make someone feel
Hmm.
insecure, right?
Yeah,
So we go back to that same thing again: communication, being
Yeah.
able to communicate with that person, being able to reassure them all the time that actually I'm going to come through, I'm going to do whatever I can to get by, you know. And if that means going and signing on for the time being, then I'm going to go and sign on for the time being until we get things straight. And I think it's about the fact that the person needs to know that you didn't do it to provoke anything. You did it. You whatever you're doing is to help and provide for the family. I think that's what you're kind of saying in a sense.
Mhm.
yeah, and also the good thing about nowadays, there's so many things to do. Like you know, if you got a license straight, I'm jumping on Just Eat or Uber Eat straight. I'll make money in the first week. Yeah, just for having a driving license. You know, there's
Yeah, but
Amazon.
I think you're a doer. If you're a doer and
Yes,
you take
there's
action,
Amazon, there's Shopify, there's Etsy, there's Facebook,
then
there's so many avenues now. Touch God forbid is
I think
hmm?
because you're a doer. I think because you're a doer. You know, when someone's a doer, an action taker, naturally you will find something to do because you're
Yes.
Yes.
all in the ball. You know, like but sometimes people are not on the ball. Let's talk about mental health. Sometimes people are depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you and then that will stop them from actually taking that next step forward. They have to deal with their emotional state first, in order for them to take that needle forward. So I'm gonna like we can talk about being, there's so many things to do, and I agree with you. There is so many things I can think of right now. Oh, I could do this, or I could do that.
Yes,
Everything,
right.
everything requires you to have energy and to take the action and steps. If you are okay in the mind, right?
Yeah.
If things are okay at home, if you are safe, if somebody is pushing you and holding you back and saying, let's okay, try this, and allowing you to fail. If things don't go well, they're allowing you to fail. So I think sometimes we have to think, okay, yes, we're talking about, yes, there are so many things out there we can do. And especially with the power of AI and internet, so many things we can do. However, what about if someone is actually emotionally depressed? What about, for example, I keep coming back to death because I know that I know that death can pull people back. Like just trauma or crises or something that their minds cannot comprehend at that particular
That,
time
that,
and moment.
yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So imagine you're the partner and you are very, very strong and you're in action mode, and the other person's feeling a bit, do you know what? I'm not feeling it right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how can you make that person emotionally secure? Because sometimes we're always not always going to be on the same page. I we us guys here, we're very lucky. We're very strong minded. We take action. We see things. We say, okay, let me try this or let me try that. But there's people out there who are not feeling like they can move. How do you, as a partner, or how do you, as a single person, when you're single and in your friendship circle, how do you support that person? How do you make that person feel emotionally secure? Because we have to think about reality. Reality is what it is. Not every day we're gonna feel great. Not
True.
every day we'll be able to take action.
Well, Sandra, you're probably the best person for that, you know.
What do
That's
you
why
mean?
some of the work you do, like, it's more helping and empowering people. Because some people, I don't have that personality to deal with all these type of people, people, for example, like like I have a lot of respect for people like nurses, mental health, coaches, all these type. Yeah, because I'm not the greatest in them environment because I can't relate, to because
But employers,
yeah, let me
sorry.
yeah. I'll just tell them, you need to come and join the 5 a.m. club, for come train and exercise and I have staff as well. I tell them like, look, I'm gonna try to help you, but you need to help yourself as well. I try and get people to focus on results, to say we've got a local community to serve. We must deliver. If we don't deliver, you're not gonna have job. I'm not interested in your boyfriend has left you, your cat, your mom's problem, your this, your that, your that. Yeah, it's I have them as well. As just like you know. I'm not gonna come to you telling you, oh, this month I might not be able to have money for you. Hmm? Pardon?
Anil, but you know that if you have an employee who is like what Sandra has just described and is not able to mentally function, they can't function at work as well. So they need
Yeah,
to
I agree, and that's
get
what I said. In my type of environment, my rule number one, I'm the first one to get fired.
okay.
I make
Because
that
it's
super clear. I'm the
yeah,
first one to get, not you, not you, not you, me. If I've already positioned that in my mind, I'm the first one to get fired. I have to constantly be on my game.
Okay.
I can't rest.
Can I
Say
say?
you have a,
Can I
hmm?
say? Can I say something? Can I say something? I think you said something that I think we may have missed because we're giggling. You said something about you would tell that person that if this doesn't get done, people won't get the community. You won't support. You won't be able to support the community. And I think what you're doing, if indirectly you don't know what you're doing it, but you're doing it. You're actually saying to that person is this thing is bigger than you.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
not only you're not only just protect. You're not only just helping yourself, you're also helping the bigger community. And I think once you allow someone, once you tell someone this thing is bigger than you,
Hmm.
you are these people you have responsibility for everybody around you and your community. You're actually engaging with them emotionally. You're actually telling them that you know what, your boyfriend is great. I know that you have boyfriend issues. I know things are not going well. And guess what? You have a bigger purpose
Yeah,
than just
and one of my
and you're
greatest strengths,
one person.
I'm very good at my management of people. Actually, I'm good because I'm very hands-on. Let's have a one-to-one. I don't hide in the glass ceiling. You know, to connect, and one of the key things is getting to know the people you're working with. The way I recruit people, I have certain questions I want to know. Which is not very conventional. I want to know a person first. Forget everything else on your CV. I want to know you. You know,
I love that.
I,
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
ain't interested in your past, where you've been, what you've done. I want to know you. What household are you
Mm.
coming from? Are you married? Are you single? Do you have kids? Do you have cats? Do you have pets? Because all these dynamic externally, they're going to be impacting my workplace.
Yeah,
So I need to
definitely.
know these things from the get-go.
Mm.
If I mix them out, oh, this is why I didn't ask that question. This is why this has happened. But once you get them,
Yeah.
it's like a filtering system. It makes it a lot of ease. I want to know, are you on drugs, alcohol, for anything? I want to know these things so I kind of know
So
ways to.
do you provide the safety space for that person to open up to you and say that,
Of
listen, I'm on drugs?
course, of course they do. They if they didn't, for me, if I can't engage with you, part of my team, we shouldn't be working together.
That's true. That is
That's
true.
that's my philosophy. If
Yeah.
you can't talk to me, what's going on, what's happening, please get out. We should not be working together because I'm not a psychic. I can't be wondering, oh, what's wrong with Sandra today now? Is
Yeah.
she okay? I don't have to, we don't have time for that. You
And that's
know?
the same, and that's the same in relationship, not just you being a boss, because you're in a relationship with someone. They're expecting you to be a mind reader. You can't be a mind reader in
Yep,
a
I
relationship.
agree with you. Some
Yeah.
girls, some ladies, the silent treatment, 1 minute she's smiling, she's not smiling, she's not talking, no
And you kept
text.
projecting yourself around them like you're walking on eggshells around them because you can't read their mind. And they expect you to read their minds and just know.
No, you can't.
Yeah, that's
Communication.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it sounds like communication is key in relationships,
It is
whether
key.
it's with an employer, an employee, or whether it's with a partner. In terms of that, I think it's very,
But
very
do you
important.
actually know, Sandra, the people you work with is kind of like a relationship. I call it dating. I actually use that analogy when I'm interviewing people.
I really do. I agree with you because I do say
I
that.
use that analogy. First time I see them and say this is the first day we're dating. You don't know me, I don't know you. You don't even know if I'm gonna be able to pay you to begin with.
That's
And when you
the
see a black face already, you wonder.
Are you gonna be able to pay me? That's the most important part.
Exactly. So that's what we call is dating. So it's a process, you know. You're trusting me. I'm gonna deliver. I'm also trusting you. You're not gonna steal from me.
Correct.
So I always say we're dating. You know, we're
No,
dating.
well,
Mm?
it is a date because
And
think about it. Yeah, it is a date. It's a date
I
because you get.
also say to somebody, you can come in for a day, see what we do, and forget all these other convention. I want you to tell me if it's something you see yourself doing, and if you don't come back.
So I think in that sense, when someone's dating a single person, when they're dating, it's really good to know that person. And like some people say, you get to know them, give them 30 days and see what happens. Do you know what I mean?
Whoa.
So before you even get emotionally caught up, before you even invest your time, invest your emotions with that person, get to know them. And then it's like the same you're saying about work trials. It's like work trials. You're trying them
But that's
out.
what I do. I'm dating people every day.
And they're trying you out.
I'm dating people every day.
Every day.
Every single day. Mm? You know, and my wife knows that I'm dating people every day. It's like an estate agent. I have a sign up, constantly looking. You don't know when your next one is gonna come. Yes, this is why we're this. That's how serious this is. You think it's a joke, you know?
No, definitely no.
You know.
Do you think 30 days is enough to know someone, Sandra?
What?
Again?
Do you think 30 days is enough to know someone? Enough to
You
make
could
a-
never know someone fully, even 5 years.
I'll be honest with you. You can know someone within a day of knowing them. Like you can. It depends on how quick you are to pick up on things. You know, because sometimes people hide. People hide themselves, right? And some people, when they are fixed, when somebody wants something from you, they will do whatever they can, and for as long as they need to do that to get to you what they want, right? So when I say 30 days, I think sometimes you give people a chance and give them. I mean, but you can tell your body and your emotions will tell you whether or not that person is the right person.
So just follow your intuition.
Intuition, yes, if you are sensitive.
Forget the CV, just follow your intuition. If you get bad intuition, just stay away from them. Simple. You know, and time later will tell you why you didn't go with them. Sandra, we're dating every day, whether you like it or not. It's a fact.
That's true. But I think sometimes as well, you have to understand, sometimes you need to, I think what we do, I think women, I don't know about you, Anil, but I think women, what we do, we tend to stick around longer than we should.
Yes, the fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. You're thinking, maybe this person has potential.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Yeah, because again, some people don't know how to sack people. You know, move on quick. You know, I'm gonna change him. You know,
of yours, the way you're talking about sack and all that. No,
I'm gonna be honest with you. The older I've gotten, the better and quicker I am at sacking people.
Exactly.
Whether you're in a relationship with me or whether we're doing business together, I can suss the people out quicker because of the experiences that I've had, and I'm like, I'm not feeling you right now.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Like, and I sack people very quickly because I know that I don't have time to waste. I don't have time. I need to move on, and you can't hold my space like that.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying. Yes, but sometimes you might have sacked the wrong person if you're too quick to sack.
But you see, Sandra, this is why I love sports. I love football so much. You know. If you watch the football world, people, it's the same like work, recruiting people. some people in life, as you say, people take too long and they're never gonna change because we're not getting any younger. You know, time is money, and the longer we carry baggage, sometimes the more detrimental. You know, it's higher slowly but fire fast. You know, you need to be able to make decisions quick because if you don't, you're never gonna make it to the next stage. You know, like I've got a girl. Like I'll give an example. She came in. She's been an emergency, but for the first 1 month, I already know she's not right for me. But I need to cut other team member. No, 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 no. It's that I need. She needs to be gone. You know, like yeah, not in a bad way, but honestly, that maybe we've experienced the older you grow, you realize actually this
Yeah.
is why these people are needed. But even same relationship, sometimes, especially nowadays, the young black female, they're doing so well. They're doing better than us men. That's statistically, not Anil's opinion.
Okay,
Black
good.
women, they're doing better than black male. Education, work, business, the sisters are rising. They're outperforming us.
Are
So
you
men,
saying
we need,
globally or just in the United Kingdom?
in the
Globally
UK,
in
in
the
the UK, because the UK is where I know ladies are performing us. You know, which men need help. You know, we're slacking. You know, it's it's not nice to say men we're slacking, but that's the statistics. And that's why there's so many lovely sisters out there with good jobs and good business, but they haven't found the right men because the men they're slacking. You
true.
know, then they're not raising up to the standards. You know, the level that the modern black British ladies they want what they need. You know, so and the surprise that they're not putting up with because women are becoming more demanding. You know.
Do you think that's also a rise in single women being single?
Yes, and a lot of women are single not because they're not ugly, they're not the right people, is because the environment around UK there's not enough strong good leaders what they need, you
Yeah.
know, and that's facts, you know, because again some guys they're not realizing actually you know what, well, these women they have their own money, man. You know, you're whatever you're bringing to that's not what they're looking for, man. They need more than that, you know. Hmm? They
Mm.
can they can provide for themselves. You know, they just want you. They're looking for a partner, basically. You know,
So
a
are
good
you specifically talking emotional maturity in men or financial
everything.
stability?
You need a full package because money alone won't make a relationship successful. You know, you
Mm,
need to be all round and more balanced. You know, help out. You know, don't have a big ego. Even if you have more money, don't walk around. You know, think you know I'm the main man. Just be humble. You know, because that alone could surprise you. You know, so you need to be a team player.
a team player.
Because ladies are looking for partners. I call it as like a partnership, you know, as you would say, like a franchise. It needs to be 50-50. That's what they want, you know. And if they're not getting 50-50, they're going to run away quick from you.
It's really powerful that you're saying it as a black man who's married because
Of course.
I think it's quite powerful. You're saying that because it's actually a reflection of it's actually a food for thought, to actually think, oh my God. But I've since I was young, I'm not sure if it was when I was in secondary school, I've always known or I've always been told that black women are doing better than black men in terms of education and things like that. But I don't know why that I actually even know that. I shouldn't even know it to be honest. But I've always had that behind me
You're
that
knowing because you're a black woman.
You know why? Do you know why, Sandra? You don't
mm,
realize that is because society. I'm very big on education and research and all these things. It's because nobody has told you. People don't really shout and sing about these things. Like for example, in the US, people open talk about how much money people earn. But you'd be surprised what these sisters are earning, how much they're making. Because in the UK, it's like a taboo. Like, if I ask you, Bliss, how much you make a year, it's none of your business, you know? You automatically take a sensitive.
Ask me off the live camera. I'm
Yeah,
going to tell you.
yeah. That's what I'm just. Yeah, it's just a taboo thing in Britain. Again, is I like to be transparent. This is why I love football. Like football tells you how good you are, and a lot of people they like to hide behind filters. You know, filter, superficial people. But we want to get down to the real deal. Are you as good as you claim you are? Because numbers, they don't lie.
Right. Yeah.
And numbers, they don't lie. And a lot of sister girls, they're doing well. They've got everything all set up ready. They've got their properties, they've got the money in the bank, but
Is it because
the
they have
right
no choice?
guys.
Is it because they have no choice but to do well?
Well, yeah, but the guys are not stepping up to the table. So part of the work I'm doing, I'm trying to work with schools and other organizations. Say, look, guys, we need to level up because the sisters, we're struggling, and we can't catch up with them, and that's a big problem in Britain right now. You
Is it
know,
because there's also a problem in terms of having single parents in the household? Because sometimes I think sometimes having being a single mom, like I'm a single mom, and I think sometimes, well, I'm doing pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. Put my hands up. God touch wood. I'm doing it pretty well. But I think sometimes a woman raising a boy is difficult, and I think maybe that comes. I'm not saying it's naturally going to be like that, because it's not always going to be like that. But I think sometimes when you are a boy and you're becoming a teenager, you need a man around you, and if you don't have a man around you to show you certain things, you're more likely not to take things as seriously, or you're not more likely to be like, you know what, life is not that important. I'm gonna just do whatever. Do you get what I mean? Like, could it be that?
Well,
I'm not saying it is, but could it be that? Because I'm lucky I'm raising girls, but what about sons? Like, what about, is it the fact that there are no father figures in the household?
Sandra, well, I could come in here because I am a single parent raising a son. My son is going to be 21 in 2 months, and he's in his
wow.
third year in uni. And I want to put my hand up that God actually blessed me with that boy, because he's been like a twin to me. We've been like stuck from the neck down or from the hip up. I don't know how to say it, but he is one of the easiest children you can raise. To a point I was thinking, oh my God, I've never heard this boy yell, shout, scream, kick off or something. But what I'm saying is, sometimes it's not the absence of a male figure in the house. I have also firsthand witnessed a home where the male presence in the house was a very bad influence. A very bad influence. If you go back and look at that household, you would rather take the boys, the sons in the house, out of that equation, because how detrimental the influence of that particular male person in the house was. So sometimes it's not the presence or the absence of a male person. It is the quality of whoever, male or female, is around the boys when they're being raised. Sometimes things happen and boys have to be raised by their grandmothers. And those grandmothers end up doing better than some parents who have both mom and dad together raising kids. So sometimes it's the quality of the presence, either male, especially male, the quality of the male presence in the house that comes into question, that then affects the sons, not the presence or the absence. It's good when the person there is I don't know, a role model, a positive role model. But we can't discount the fact that sometimes, even in the midst of a present male adult, the influence is terrible. You're smoking weed, you're sat at home all day, you're grumbling, fighting the wife in the house, to the extent the son will even say to the mom, why not run away? Let's run. Because your influence is stifling him. Do you get what I mean?
And social media sometime as well.
This is even before social media. Social media
Mm.
now is even shining the light on what people are going through. These things were way before social media. Social media now is just helping to shine more light on situations that people are going through. But boys have had to endure terrible parenting from a present father. And then you hear them later in life say, well, how else do you expect me to turn out? My old man was this, that, or the other. So yeah, so it's a quality of the role model in the house. That's what comes into question in things like this. honestly.
So we're going to go to the third question. How do people create emotional insecurity unknowingly?
I would say if you judge someone for who they are when they're trying to be themselves around you. So you will have, because I deal with a bit of safeguarding with the things I do, and then you find someone say, why are you always crying? Why are you always, oh, you just gave birth, you're in pain, you're this, you're that. And the man is like, but my mom gave birth to 7 kids and she was never this whiny or crying. Forgetting that, there's something called there's something called postnatal depression or the third day blues or hormone fluctuations that can happen to a woman. And then you're comparing her to your mother who had her mom, sister, and everybody in the house when she gave birth. And then this one is giving birth, having a child where there's no support. She gives birth today, the next day you're up and you're gone to work like Anil, up and gone. I know you left for work the next day, Anil. And then she's having to deal with a baby she's never carried before. You're saying, why is the house dirty? Why is this not this? Why are you so whiny? My mom had 7. So in that regard, she would not be able to be vulnerable. I'm not saying you actually did that, guys. Anil didn't do that, although he'll tell us if he did. So be vulnerable with you, always using their vulnerabilities against them.
Can I say as well, how do people create emotional insecurity unknowingly? I think some people just don't know that people go through emotions when circumstances take place. For you're talking about when a woman gives birth. Now, from my experience, I have realized that a lot of men don't know how to deal with the time when the woman's pregnant. Like, for example, the emotions that the woman has to go through. One minute the woman is hyper, next minute she's down.
The mood swings,
pretty and glorious. Next minute she's not looking as gorgeous as you wanted her to look. And then obviously, then the man has needs, emotional needs, and the woman has her own emotional needs, and there's all these intricates, things that we all don't understand, and even the woman herself doesn't know that she's going to feel that way. And I think it's all about hormones and not knowing. And could you say, Bliss, could you say that it's about education?
Yes, I would say people need to self-educate and become aware. So let's say you're going to the next stage of your life. You're going for an interview. You would read up on the course, on the job you're going to get. You read up on certain expected questions that they're going to ask you for this interview. So when you get into a relationship or you're both having a baby, you should read up on it. You should have a conversation about things like that. Because even though she's the one carrying the baby, she's never been through that emotions, but she didn't even know that they're gonna come up. Recently, I'll tell you a story. Recently, I was talking to a very beautiful colleague of mine, going through the menopause. We're just having a conversation about the menopause, and I said, "Oh yeah, things like hot flushes, mood swings." She said, "Girl, it is so much more than that." And she pulled up her phone. And she showed me over 40 different things. I saw lack of joy, lack of motivation, forgetfulness. I thought, oh my God, all of this just from being menopausal. She was like, yes. And then I was thinking to myself, I am even clinically inclined, and I didn't know this. And then when I have a partner and I get to the stage where I'm now experiencing menopause or the perimenopausal stage, I wouldn't know what I'm going through. And then my partner is surprised, she's turned into something different overnight. So yeah, sometimes you need to then study the next stage of either your male partner or your female partner, things that they might be experiencing. Learn about them, like you said, Sandra. It's an education. It's just knowing about the next stage of your life and then preparing for what it might bring.
Do you think that also, I'm going to just bring up something. Do you also think that also is why there's a high number of people that get divorced at a certain level, at a certain age, say between 45, 50, because the women are going through the menopause? That's the time when that's the next stage of a woman's life. Because And then the men also have like a midlife crisis. So would you think it's because we're not taking the time out to learn about each other, to actually learn about our emotions, our hormones, that what's the next stage? So for example, if I'm dating someone, right, and we're just enjoying ourselves. People do more enjoying, like they want to cuddle and do all the stuff, have sex, do all these nice
Instagram
things,
love,
the exciting things, And then, but while we're doing all these things, I'm growing at the same time. He's growing, I'm growing. We're all growing, right? And then we love it. And then you can be like on your phone, oh my man's so good, he's so brilliant, he's amazing. Because you're excited, you have all these nice things. But at the same time, now you're growing in age, you're growing in mind, and he's growing in age and mind. And then he's on the next level. And then all of a sudden, you notice your gray hairs. The gray hairs coming out, and you're like, oh, I've got gray hairs. And then next minute, you're like, oh, I'm sweating more. And then, oh, I'm not feeling like sex anymore. Now the excitement is gone because now I'm on menopause. Now the mind has to look. Now the mind's like, oh, she used to be so exciting. She used to be so joyful.
She's boring.
She's not. I'm gonna go look for another.
She's
because
boring.
she's no longer as joyful as I want her to be. Yeah. And then he's like, oh, but you got to understand. I don't know how I feel. Why do I feel the way? I don't even know why I feel the way I'm feeling. But then here he's thinking, I need to let you go because I need to get a next woman. That's probably why men in their 50s go out with younger women in their 20s or 30s, because they're like, well, they want the excitement to carry on and on and on and on. But then no, but I'm just being honest. I'm thinking, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, hold on a minute. We're not actually taking the time out to say, okay, when you get to this stage, this is what might happen to you. So how are you going to react? When people say, when they get married, they say, to death do us apart.
Yeah.
Right. That it's like, whatever you're going through, until death do us apart, I'm gonna be there for you. But if I don't even know what being there for you means, how can I even be there? How can I even reach the end with you? Because I don't even know where the middle part is. I haven't even educated myself about the middle part. And I'm not saying, and I could put my hand up and say, I don't sit down and think, oh, when a man is in their 50s, this is how they feel. I don't start educating myself on that. I like the excitement too, like everybody else. One thing I've noticed is that we are lacking education, because when somebody can't perform the way they used to perform when they're with you at the beginning, ever communicate that with
because sometimes the ladies with the men, they get comfortable, they stop fixing up, they stop the careness, offering the good food, the good gesture, the stuff that made you attracted to them in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
They stop doing the sex as they used to. They kind of like, I always call life, that's why you gotta be kept on your toes. I'm a great believer, people gotta be kept on your toes. Don't forget yourself even in a marriage. Some people get married, bloody hell, they don't look after themselves anymore. They this and this, and then before you know it, a few years later their marriage has ended because they've changed. They've changed and got consequences, and then people drift apart. You could be with someone 10, 20 years, but you're not compatible anymore.
Okay.
Because
can I say something? When I was at uni, I went into a class by accident. It was a psychology class, and we laughed a lot. I actually went in there. I went to my lecture earlier, and I ended up being in a psychology class. The man said to me, "You can stay." So I stayed, right? So he said to me, "You might find this interesting." So I was like, "Okay, let me sit down." He's told me to stay. Let me stay. So I stayed, and he showed us a film. Exactly what you're saying, Anil. The man and woman had drifted apart, and they hated each other. And right at the beginning of what the show they were showing us, I was like, they need to just break up. They need to just split up, because I don't understand how you can be in a house with someone and not be able to talk to that person, and then say that you're still married. They need to just get a divorce or whatever. So anyway, I'm watching, and then they start going to counseling. And in the counseling, the woman starts giving them things to play with. Like they start giving them role plays. Yeah, they go home and they have to do these things. And they kept on going home and they're doing all these things. And in the end of the whole thing, they actually found the love that they lost. And I was like, wow, I'm so glad I was in that lesson because although it was an accident getting in there,
But
but I'll
now
never
you
forget.
understand why some men they cheat or they leave their wives. It's because they've lost the small little touches that made them, you know. And the
Yeah, but then
routine is an important element, you know. It all begins from the morning, you know, from morning
mm,
when they leave the house to when they come back, you know.
Right.
It's people forgotten the simple gesture. Good morning, babe. How are you? What can I make for you? What will you? It's the simplest thing that people don't even provide. And they wonder why things aren't working. You know, we're not even talking about the property, the mortgage, the saving, like, all these people think that they get hung up. It's the simple things, you know,
mm,
the simplistic things that don't exist, you know.
that's true.
And then because the simple things don't exist, people so hang up on their kitchen island houses and this and this and the holidays and the Dubais and the basics, fundamentals, what made people tick, get together in the first place. They've been lost. Wake up in the morning, grumpy face. You get home, grumpy face. You this.
But
So,
can I shine light on the same thing you're saying? But let me give you a different perspective.
mm,
I think the two things that are missing is emotional intelligence
mm-hmm,
and selflessness. Emotional intelligence is where you hold space generally for what might come in whatever relationship you have. You should be mature enough to say, you know what, things are going to change. It's a blanket feeling for you. You don't know what it will be, but things are going to change. And I making a commitment to however things change, I should be able to adapt to it, support my partner through it, find my space in it, and then come out better at the other end. So you're prepared. You don't know the extent, like Sandra was saying, you wouldn't know the extent of how her emotions are going to change or how mine's going to change, but you're open, emotionally open. So you have that form of intelligence just waiting. Two, if you're willing to be selfless, it shouldn't be all about me in this relationship. And I'll tell you why. You're talking about the routines. You're saying something earlier, and I couldn't wait to come in. You had this lady, she was so cute. She had hair, she did her hair. Every time she would look for her black eyeliner, like Sandra and I were helping her look for her black eyeliner today before we started. She have all the lipsticks and everything. She'll go to work, you come back, you will go to work, come back, hug, kiss, cuddle up and all that. And then she got pregnant, had the first child. And then you leave her in the night, the baby will wake up to suckle. 2.5 hours, the child wakes up almost every 2.5 hours to feed that baby. Then you didn't stop there. You went and did number two. Second baby came in. Every night she's looking after the one, she is looking after the newborn, but she also has to ensure that the other one, who's maybe two now, goes to sleep. All the while, the selflessness I'm talking about is not there from you. You are not supporting her. You go to sleep because you feel like you've gone to work, you're back, you're tired. She has to deal with all that. So in the morning, she's not seeing if it's daytime or nighttime. She's struggling with waking up, sleeping, standing, and you're expecting her to still be cute and cozy and come and say, honey, how are you? What do you want for breakfast? When she's been up all night. She's been up all night. And then somewhere down the line, she's thinking, am I in this by myself? And then you are thinking, why doesn't she look as gorgeous as she used to? You are, number one, not emotionally intelligent. Number two, you have become selfish. You're not selfless because you're not supporting her to become, because she's losing herself anyway. She's lost her precious shape. She's losing her sleep. She might also have put her career in the back burner, all for this process. But then you're coming home thinking, oh, the house is so dirty. She doesn't look good anymore. I don't get my kisses, my hugs, my breakfast, my darling. When she doesn't even know when last she showered. She's gone into the shower. She's pushed the pram of the baby next to the shower just so the baby screams she can hear. And then the toddler is rolled up. The toddler is knocking on the door, mommy, mommy. And then she's come out. She has her panty. She has a bra down her legs, thinking it's her. And then she looks, it's her bra. She doesn't even know what she's wearing and all that. she can't even find. She eats her breakfast by 1 o'clock because she has to have the baby. She has to do that, and then you come in and you're saying, "Oh, the house is this, the house is that," and then she's thinking, "Wow."
Can I put something on to that as well?
Yeah.
When I was pregnant, right? I got told put lots of oil on my body. I'm gonna say, like you put olive oil, and in order to stop the stretch marks from showing, right?
Yeah.
So I was putting on oil on my body, and you know what? I really love the fact that I didn't have to put up with a man to tell me the bed is messy, you know. And I know it's really weird because sometimes I think to myself, "Oh, you got lucky," because can you imagine you have to try and maintain all this, and yet and then sometimes maintaining all this means that you're going to be a bit messy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And I don't, and not to be funny or anything. Sometimes people criticize you. This is how I think they'll make you insecure unknowingly. They will say things. You put on a bit of weight.
Yeah.
They'll say things like, "You don't smell too good today." But they don't realize you you have to put up you have to deal with so much. Oh, but when you're on your own, I'm not advocating for singleness because it's not.
No,
I'm not
definitely not. No, definitely
I love
not.
marriage and everything else, and you know what? If God blesses me with a man and we get married, fantastic. But
Amen.
there's times and moments. I have to go put my lips in a minute. There's times and moments that I think to myself, Sandra, you've escaped being criticized because the whole bed is full of oil, and the only person that has to stay in that bed is you. Right? and you know what? God forbid, when you look at my stomach, you don't even think I've had a child because I don't have the stretch marks. But for me to get to the point where I no longer have to have those stretch marks,
You have to do them sacrifices.
That body.
Bathe in
I have
oil.
to over cream it, over oil it, and that means making a mess in that bed and waking up. No, but I'm being honest. So oh, she looks so good, and she had a baby, and she looks so nice. Yes, I've had a baby. I look so nice, but I'm allowed to be messy because I don't have anyone criticizing me.
And that's where the emotional comes in. I've also been fortunate to see women who have been overwhelmingly supported by their partners. You can't even believe, overwhelming. You're vomiting, you're being sick everywhere. This man is there, he's holding the pan for you, asking you, honey, what do I get you? There are lots of men who are emotionally aware. Yeah, they're emotionally intelligent. They're thinking, oh my God, she's going through this because of us. She's going through this because we have a plan to bring a baby into the world. And that's what we all want. We want someone who we can be secure around, Sandra. What we're talking about. I can't feel like I'm throwing up. And then you're thinking, oh, I hate vomit. I can't look. No, sit down and look at it. We got it together. Be there. And then do it in a nice way, though. In a nice way, the woman doesn't feel like you're repulsed by her because she's already feeling repulsed by herself. She needs a man who is saying, you know what, honey, you're still beautiful. You know what, you're doing it. Oh, I can't imagine I can't imagine. Sometimes I've seen a case where maybe Sandra, this must have happened to you. The pregnant belly, you can see the footprint of the child kicking the pregnant belly. You can see the print. And then you see partners who be like, whoa, what is that? That's a whole human being inside another human being. What her body is going through. And then you turn around, the next thing you can think is, why is the house not clean? When she's carrying another whole human being top to tail down by herself, and then you're not just thinking. So we all want that person who will see us in our high moments and in our very low moments and still love and accept us the way we are. We want to also be that person who will see you. Let's say for the men, it will be your high and low financial moment. We want to see you in those moments and still love and trust you, and feel secure around you. Likewise, you extend the same, gestures to us and see us in our highs and lows and still love us regardless.
I just remembered something when I was couple of years ago, or about 10 years ago, my sister had a child, and the child was premature, and we were in hospital and we were visiting the child, and da 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 da. And one thing I noticed was there wasn't that many men around for other women when she was very
Boy.
lucky that the father of the child was around. He came to visit every single day. He couldn't wait to come and see the child. He gave her the support that she needed. But I noticed there wasn't that many men coming around for the mothers to help and support the premature babies who were in the court. And I thought that was so sad. And that moment I felt really sad, and it just it's like he was like, I won't say he was the only one, but it was noticeable, and it was very, very sad. And I think it comes down to emotional intelligence. And where do we get the emotional intelligence from? Because how do we now raise boys and girls to be emotionally intelligent so that they allow each other and themselves to know that actually authenticity means there's going to be times when I don't look so pretty. When I'm not do you know what I mean? Like when I'm not, when there's going to be times when I might get an illness and have to deal with me when I'm ill. If I get an illness when I'm vomiting or things are coming out of my backside, would you help me clean it up? Do you get what I mean? Like, would you really? Or would you just run off because I'm no longer pretty anymore? Or I'm ill, you can't deal with that. That's not you. But then how, and is it not you, or is it you're going with what society wants you to be? Not really, you're not being your true self. Because if you're really being your real true self, you would know that you can actually get sick yourself. Whatever illness that I may have, you can get it yourself. So that means you're going to need someone to be sympathetic, someone to have a heart, someone to hear you out. So I think it's really, we're not being realistic sometimes. And what is realism? What is being realistic? It's not having such high expectations all the time. The truth is the truth. The truth is pretty things can turn ugly, and ugly things can turn pretty.
Of course. Just look at the different seasons. Look at the trees in different seasons. They change. They wither, they dry off, and then they bloom again. That's it.
And guess what, Bliss? And guess what? That's true. And guess what? The tree's still standing.
It's still standing.
It's going through the seasons, but it's still standing strong, right?
Yeah, it blooms again. Yeah.
So do you know, we have a comment here. There's a comment saying, I think Sasha Darling, she's saying not only men cheat. That's true. Not only men cheat, men cheat too. Let's not pretend that only men cheat. Women cheat too. She's got a point. She said maintaining a relationship takes work and compromise. Definitely. It does.
Women are getting worse nowadays, actually. Worse than men nowadays.
In terms of cheating, you mean?
Yeah. They're just clever about it, They don't talk their business like men do.
All right. So how do people create emotional insecurity unknowingly? I think is not being realistic. Not being real. What is, when you say to death do us apart, what do you mean by that? When you say I've got you 100%, what does that mean? Does that mean you only got me when I'm looking great, when I'm on high energy, when I've when my hormones, and do you know different stages of women's lives, and do women know different stages of men's lives? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't know all the stages of a man's life, unless Anil wants to tell us. I don't know.
Even a man doesn't know until they get to the point and then something happens to them. They don't even know. Certain stages in a man's life, some men skip it. Your father may not have experience like prostate enlargement or prostate cancer. Sorry guys, I'm really being clinical today. I hope it's allowed. But
it's allowed. You can do whatever you want.
The main things that men would go through that would really put them, that would be things like an enlarged prostate. And some men never saw it in their fathers or grandfathers, so they never even thought it would happen to them. So for them, they didn't even know until this is a new age. People eat and drink different things. There's heavy metals in our water and our food and stuff like that. And then suddenly it's happening to him, but he never knew he would go through that. He never expected it. So even for men, some men don't know that they would go through things like that, health-wise,
Okay, I'm going to move on to question 4. Why do people stay where they don't feel safe?
Mhm.
Why
We
do
have
men
to-
stay, Anil? Why do men stay?
They don't, they
it
don't
could
feel
be
safe.
it could be a combination of things. Some men, they what's the one I use the wrong word. They like that comfort, like kind of like a insurance, like she's never gonna leave. She's always gonna be there. Innit? She's just like some men are like that, or someone they're using, because some men use ladies as well, for different things in their life stages, and some men also they could have someone, but it's kind of like discreet. They don't want everyone to know about it, you know.
Why is that? What do you think that is?
Some men are insecure
Mm.
as well, is they don't want to show maybe their friend to see them, think them like talk about them, like say, for example, myself, he's got a fat girlfriend, like because sometimes men they're not always nice to each other, so it's, they're not always nice to each other. So it's again sometimes is it's not really genuine friendship sometimes, you know, and that's why I think as people grow, become more mature, you kind of left alone anymore. You don't really do all this socializing with your boys and talking about everything. But while you're at college or uni, it's kind of like it's like a playground. You talk about you
But
talk about.
do you think
Huh?
does that carry on through different stages of your age, like in your life? Like, say, well, if you're 18 and 20, and then you're 25 and 30, and like when you get older, does it still carry on that talk? That
No,
that
it changes because I think women normally mature earlier than men. Like men it takes us a while to grow up. So that's why it's quite common to find a big ass man. It could be 40s if a woman was 25, whatever, vice versa. Because, yeah, boys, we tend to grow quite late. We have a lot of childish behaviors. Even, yeah, unless it sounds crazy, even up to even 30 to 40, like,
Wow.
yeah, Mary can be a bit childish sometimes, So, yeah, so that plays a big part. But while men they grow and mature, they begin finding themselves as well. Because a lot of men don't really understand themselves, until later on they do a bit of personal development. They get to know who they are, what they're about, and then they just say, you know what, it's best to be more private, more mellow, because it gives you stability.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like before you find yourself, you might have lost a couple of meaningful relationships before you start to find yourself. And then, yeah.
Mm,
Okay, so what you're saying is that people stay in unsafe relationship because they don't know who they are. They don't
yeah,
know who.
yep.
What about you, Bliss?
Well, I would say people stay because of the fear of what others would say. Like, oh, she's dated this, she's been here. We thought she's gonna stay with this one, and now she's gonna walk away. Maybe the circle of friends have stable relationships, and then they feel I don't want to be the only one out of place. And I've also seen some people who can handle themselves when they're single.
Hmm.
What
They're
does that
all
mean?
they, I've seen people who they can't, for the life of them, can't be single. As soon as
Mm,
they're coming out of a relationship, it feels like they almost immediately have to be in another one because they don't know who they are when they are by themselves. It feels like they're defined, their person, their worth
true,
is
true, true.
defined when they're in a relationship. So they're quickly, as soon as it's ending, they're trying to hold on to that. But when they can't, as soon as it ends, quickly they're into something.
But
So
don't
like
you wonder sometimes maybe that person was around during the relationship as well? The snake around?
yeah, but the thing is,
Because sometimes
Mm.
it's, as you say, yeah, you're right. A woman comes out of a relationship,
Just
not even a month, but she's already got.
another one. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm
yeah.
thinking, was that snake around DM? But
Listen,
yeah,
let's not say women. 'Cause men do it as well. Men
yeah,
do it. And they get
exactly.
away with it.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
exactly.
Men do
On
it.
on both sides, because relationship do take quite long to form, or
yeah,
dating some. It's kind of like you'd rather deal with the devil that you know. So for something to happen so quick, it can't be all of a sudden. I just went on Tinder or Instagram or Facebook, and
actually, that's how some people do it. As soon as one is ending, they're like, you know what? I'll go on social media. I'll go on this. I'm sure I'll find. Might not be the right person, but they just want to find someone.
Can I say
But then
something? I think
to help them be
this.
stable a little bit. That's them.
Can I say something? I think sometimes we have to understand what a relationship and dating, the difference is, because you can be in a relationship, meaning that that's the one for you, and you're going to work with that person, and you've decided to be open, and everyone's going to know that you're in that relationship with that person, and also dating, because dating, you should. I remember listening to a podcast, and someone said you should be dating 1, 2, or 3 guys at the same time, because you need to then suss who you're gonna, who's the right person for you. But I think we're
you're
getting confused.
sizing them up.
No, but we're getting confused. There's a difference between dating and being in a relationship. Because no, but hold on. Can I say something? No. Let me just say,
Sizing them up.
but can you think about it? Yeah, because when you're dating, you're trying to get to know a person, and she was saying, and I remember, I think it was Alyssa Billiard's podcast. The woman was saying, you have to date 1 or 2 guys, or 1 or 2 guys at the same time, and then you can decide who you want to stay with or not. Because not everybody's you can't say, okay, let me have a relationship with someone for 3 months, then have a relationship with the other person for another 3 months, and then decide from there. You need to, what she was saying is, you need to go on a date. I think we kind of
Basically, you're saying you gotta speculate to accumulate, but society will call you a player. We'll say, Sandra, you're a player.
Yeah, but you're not being a player, because you're not sleeping with these people. You're just getting to know them.
But if another man finds out, we'll say you mislead him. Not many men will like that. Not many men out there will like to feel. A lot of men, even women, they like to be number one, don't they? The special one, don't they?
Yeah, but the thing is, if you want to be number one, then we have to get on. I need to get to know you.
But everybody likes to think they're number one, don't they? And this is when society back actually.
But then I don't think she was saying you need to tell them that you can tell them. No, you need to tell them you're dating, but you don't need to tell them who you're dating.
Yeah, but some men could even kill you if they find out you're dating someone. They feel like, what?
Hold on.
When they think they're in a relationship with you, not just when they think they're in a relationship with you.
Yeah, but some men, if they're dating you as well, they like to know, you can't be seeing anyone else or talking to no one else. Kind of like that. Say, for example, you're just dating, you're going out for meal, you're getting to know each other. If he sees with another guy at Nando's and you're meant to put together, trust me, it will not. For some men with their pride and ego, it will not go down well.
Nando's is in trouble. The whole Nando's is gonna burn it down.
Yeah. So some men will be like, this is when the talking starts. Oh, one of his friends. That's when that people talk.
Yeah.
Another man sees you of his friend. Say, you know what? I did see Sandra Nando's. They look like they were close. They're like, what? Even paparazzi even took pictures. It was like, rah. And you're telling that she's gonna be the wifey. Trust me, that does not go down well with men, And I do agree. You gotta have options.
There's a difference between dating and being in a relationship with someone. Because dating is you're not exclusive. You're getting to know that person.
But that's what I'm saying, though, Sandra.
People. And if that person wants to be with you, really want to be with you, then you have that discussion and say, look, I want you to only be with me. I want you to only date me because I want to make it permanent with me and you. So that means.
Yeah, but my question to you.
I want my mom to know, my dad to know, my sisters to know, my cousins to know, my nieces. I want everybody to know about you because.
So if you're dating 3 guys, would you tell them all, or you keep it to yourself?
Say again.
If you're dating 3 guys, you're trying to get to know them to find which one is the one. Would you tell them?
I would say if they pop the question, and then they ask you, are you in a relationship? I don't know if people still ask those questions, but some people will be like,
No, are you linking? Some people dating call it linking or seeing someone, getting into. It's all different abbreviation people use.
They can say, are you seeing someone? Are you in a relationship? You can say, well, I came out of something not quite long ago. So I've just been on 1 or 2 dates. So if you say I've just been on 1 or 2 dates, it already gives them an idea that there might be a third and a fourth date apart from them.
But I think people have to understand and differentiate.
So you position them.
Yeah, you let them know that you have been on 1 or 2 days, so they know where you are.
Can I tell you something?
That helps them decide if they want you for keeps. Then they have to work extra hard because you've been on 1 or 2 dates. They may be number 3. There must be
a lot of men I know, if they find out they engage with someone, they'll just even get jealous. They'll just get angry, but like, nah, forget that. You know.
No, I think that's upfront. You have to be upfront. You have to have a chat about it. Don't sweep it under the carpet. Don't leave it for him to find out.
I think it's really sad because I think men have different standards for themselves and different standards for women, because men can go and see different women and decide, okay, that's not the one for me. They can date different women, and some men even go as far as sleeping with different women. Do you know what I mean? And then they decide that's not the one for me. I'm gonna get rid of all these other girls that I've been seeing, and I'm gonna choose this particular one. But when it comes to women, we have different standards for women, and I think it's really unfair, because how are we going to get to the good one, if we don't get to know the if we don't
you keep so many people. How
are we going to get there if we don't date around? Like, how are we going to? You want me to stay with you, but then you can go around and see all these different women.
But
you
that's
want me
the
to
problem.
stay with you, and then I'm staying with you, and I'm thinking we're going to make. Because what you're trying to say to me, as soon as I say yes to a date with you, we're in a relationship.
No. A lot of it's kind of like a lot of men who like a date, in a relationship, it's kind of you're just talking to that one. Like, it's less is more. Most men, even if you're not a slag or you're not doing nothing, it's just for even seeing with another guy, they think something is happening, they think something is happening. I'll give you an example. When you rang my phone, my wife picked up my phone. She was wondering, who's Sandra? You see, this is how no, this is how women or men or people think. Is that society thing? Like, it's like man or woman can't talk when engaged. People automatically think there's things going on, As for you, Sandra, you just want to find the right person. But the way people interpret it, the guy's friend or someone or even him might be thinking they looked a bit too close. So people start getting paranoid. I'm thinking, raw. Are you sure you're?
Funny you say that. I remember one person saying to me, whenever a man offers you a hug, don't take it. Because somebody's gonna think that you're with that person or you're doing something with that person. And I'm like, hold on, for me, a hug is a hug. I can see you, but I haven't seen you for ages. I'll give you a hug. But they told me, be careful. Do not go around hugging anyone or be seen hugging people, because men, especially, because people are going to think you're doing something with them. People's mentality are different. I think it depends on how you've been brought up, your environment, where your interpretation of a man and a woman being together. Because I grew up in a mixed environment. I grew up in a mixed school, like a mixed secondary school, should I say. And before I went to an all-girls school. Now, I grew up with male friends. You get what I mean? Like, the boys were my friends. And I think sometimes boys were more my friends than girls sometimes.
Yeah.
But the boys were able to be like, they'll allow me to be myself. They allowed me to give me that. They gave me that space where I could pick my nose and I could fart and I could do shit. I could be me, right? When I say in front of a girl, they'll be like, "Ooh, that stinks, man." But so I hanged out with guys.
Girls are sneaky.
But the women. But I felt like I was not myself with women because I couldn't be myself. I couldn't have a bad day with a woman. Like, I couldn't have a bad day. But with my male friends, I could have a bad day. I could really have a bad day, and they'll be okay with it. And they'll be like, "No, that's just Sandra." Do you know what I mean? So what am I saying? So what I'm trying to say is, I think
Hugging guys when you're not in relationship with them, the perception.
hugging guys, yeah. So some people, I think it depends on what environment you grew up in. I grew up in an environment which was quite mixed, and I had male friends, and to be honest, I didn't feel like they fancied me because at the time I wasn't putting on makeup or doing anything like that, and I didn't feel like, oh, there was something going on there. But someone else would have interpreted that as she's going out with that person or going out with that person. However, I felt more comfortable sometimes being myself around the males because, a male, you can have an argument with a guy and they'll be like, tomorrow they're okay. With a woman, you can have an argument, they won't talk to you for the whole year. The whole year they don't want to talk to you. But with a male, they'll be like, yeah, we had an argument yesterday, so what? Let's move on. Do you get what I mean? Like, that's why I think. But then you have, when I go into a different environment and they say to me, you can't be friends with that guy because women and men can't be friends. I'm going to look at you and think, I don't think that's true. If anything, I think I could be more of a male's friend than I can be a woman's friend because women sometimes don't allow you to be yourself. They're very, very judgmental. Very judgmental.
Exactly.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if I put on extra weight, the way the man will say it and the way the woman will say it, sometimes it can make you feel insecure. Like, you know what I mean? And Bless, you looking out. What are you looking out for? Girl, you're still my friend. Don't worry. She's looking like, Sandra, what are you talking about? But
no. I saw a shadow somewhere, and I was tracing it. I was tracing it to see.
She's looking at me like, oh my gosh. But I'm telling you.
No, I thought I heard someone stop outside.
I think it's how people have been brought up. Sorry, darling. Sorry. I think it's how people have been brought up. If you've been brought up in a situation where you're hanging out with boys because it's a mixed environment and you can hang out with boys, I think it's okay. I've even, like, I think I remember fancying a boy in school. A couple of years later, I didn't fancy him anymore, and he'll be like, "Oh, can you help me with this, Sandra?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not helping you." And then he remembers, "You're not helping me now because you don't fancy me anymore." He'll be like, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't fancy you anymore, but I'm not helping you anyway." I think it's how the environment that you've grown up in to actually understand that men and women can be friends.
Society judges. This is what I'm trying to say. Society is like, if you're married, it's certain things you shouldn't do. If you're dating someone, people just put titles and status on things, It's just the way society is, Even when you could have 100 guys, there's nothing happening. You're just being friendly. But some people they could twist things, That's the problem.
But certain things is to guide you. When you brought up the case of if you're married, if you are married, stay away from those things. Honestly, don't tempt yourself and think that you're just trying to be part of a society. If you're dating, is different. If you're in a relationship and you're exclusive, you should respect that as well, as just as similar as marriage as well. But other aspects, you still have an open playing field to, dabble into things and test the waters. But if you're committed in a relationship, that's me, and I think that is generally expected and accepted. If you're exclusive, because think about it, you don't even want your partner to feel, you don't want to feel bad about your partner when you know you're exclusive. You don't want to have that feeling of something it might be going on when you know you're exclusive or when you know you're married. So in the event that you're testing the waters, fine. If in the event that you're still dating, fine. But once you commit, I think once you commit, you should commit.
Okay, so can I ask you a question? So how do you determine, and Anil as well, how do you determine that the persons you both are committed? Do you have to have that conversation, or is it because the person now is inviting you around and showing you off to different people and inviting you? How do you determine that? Because there's dating, there's commitment, and there's marriage.
How do you determine that you're committed to someone?
That you're in a relationship with that person, you're trying to make it work, and you're gonna end up, do you know what I mean? Like, how do I explain it to you? How there's dating, there's marriage, there's dating, there's somebody saying we're exclusive,
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, pardon me. Someone saying we're exclusive, and there's also being married to that person. And sometimes people don't actually get married because I know people have been together for a long time
Yeah.
and they haven't got married. So how do you determine when are you going to be exclusive? I mean, what determines that?
Conversation. I think a conversation has to happen. It's like we said from the start, nobody's a mind reader. You might be carrying on thinking, oh, I'm exclusive with this person. And the person might think, oh, we're just enjoying ourselves. We're just, I'm still playing the field. And then 2 months later, he comes and says, oh, I'm having an engagement, but you're thinking, and then you're thinking,
Sorry,
what,
Anil.
what have we been doing all these years? A conversation definitely has to take place. Otherwise, you're in your mind building castles in the air about this thing with this person, and this person is busy just having fun and not being committed. When they feel that they're ready, they just hop onto the ideal person that they've been eyeballing all the while they were with you. So I think a conversation tells you when you are from the dating stage to being exclusive, even before he says, oh, I'm putting an engagement ring, if it's going to get to that point. But a conversation about, I'd love for you to be my girlfriend, I'd love to spend most of my life with you. A definite conversation that tells you you are now moving from point A to point B has to happen, so that if anything happens in the future, you can quote that conversation and say, we were exclusive. You did ask me out, and then you told me let's be exclusive. That conversation has, if it hasn't happened yet, you need to prompt that conversation so that you as a woman or as a guy, you know where you stand.
So would you say that would you say that, okay, the society or some of us are getting it wrong to say that, okay, if someone asks you out on a date and you start dating them, that you actually are together? Because I think Anil was pointed, he actually, we lost him for a minute. When he comes back, there's another, when he comes back, we'll put him back on. Um, when he said about when a guy sees you with another guy, when a guy sees you with another guy, when a guy, he's gonna be like, oh, what is she doing with that guy? Do you know what I mean? So I think maybe there's no clear boundaries as to what
Yeah,
is what, and I
yeah,
think we as a society we haven't actually I my point of, I don't know, I don't know. I think Neil's trying to say, no, he's not coming back. He has not come back yet. When he comes back, I'll let him in.
yeah,
I think in a sense, I think we've got it, either we've got it wrong somewhere, like we're not differentiating between different dating and actually being in a relationship with that person.
mhm,
And I think I've got it wrong. I've got it wrong because, well, I've got it wrong because I think the relationships I had in the past, I thought they were relationships, but now I look back, I think actually we were dating. It's just that
yeah,
I thought they were relationships because, as far as
yeah,
I was concerned, as soon as I say yes to you and we go out and do things together, especially if I sleep with you, we are together, you know? And I think if I haven't had that conversation with that person, um, that means I was wrong. As far as they were concerned, they weren't relationships. As far as
yeah,
they were concerned, they were just tasting the water. Do you get what I mean?
yeah.
So I think
So
maybe there's a blurred line between dating and being exclusive with that person.
there is and there isn't. There is and there isn't. There is when you don't hold, when you don't bring up that conversation. Again, you don't expect this person to be a mind reader, and the person shouldn't expect you to be a mind reader. If you start, oh, let's go out for a day, let's go for a meal, and it's once, it's twice, it's the third time, and then the conversations you keep having, the night phone calls and things, you should be able to bring it up and say, I really enjoy your company. I really, just wanted to know. I have been out of the dating scene for a while, and I don't really know if I want to commit. I just need to know what's your take about being in this space. Let the person come out and tell you what it is that they actually have in their minds, because you don't want to go run off somewhere with someone and then they say you've jilted them or you've done something wrong when you never had that conversation. So there is a blurred line if you don't, and there isn't, because the conversations will take you to where you need to go. So definitely, a conversation with a conclusion at the end of that conversation should tell you where you're at in that friendship or dating zone, or if it's a relationship, and especially an exclusive relationship. All of that should be defined. It becomes different, it becomes clear cut when this person then puts an engagement ring on you. Then it is quite defined. You don't need too much of a conversation when you have an engagement ring on. But prior to that, you need to know where you're at. The person needs to know where they're at. It's only decent emotionally for you both to have that conversation, especially if you've been on dates upward of 3 months. You should be having that conversation.
I think, can I be honest with you? I think you should have that conversation from the get-go, because you need to say to the person why you're dating. What is your purpose of dating?
I think it's too soon. I think it's too soon from the get-go. I would say it's too soon, because I might go out for a meal with you today and I come back thinking, I don't like him. I don't like his energy. And then the next time you offer me a meal, I can say, oh, you know what, I have to be at work early. I can't come out. So I wouldn't want to have that conversation with you from the start. If I have a repeat date and I'm starting to think, you know what, I think I fancy this person, then somehow I want to have that conversation, because I don't know where you're at with me. I might like you and you might not like my physique or the way I speak or what I do, the kind of time I work. It will be worth having the conversation, but too early, it shouldn't be too early, because I might go on a date twice and I'm thinking, no, I don't like him. I don't like him. and I wouldn't do number 3. No, I wouldn't do date number 3. No.
So what you're saying is people should date once, twice, 3 times, and then say, you know what, I like you. I want to start a relationship with you. This is what I'm looking for.
I want to say if it's a repeat date where he calls you up, say, you know what, let's hang out. And then you hung out. And then before the end of the next week, oh, can I take you here? When you see it coming now more frequent, then it's time to have that conversation.
I like that. And I think we need to do more of that than the other way around,
She's not wasting time.
What do you mean? Do you tell us give us a bit of your point of view, Anil? What do you mean?
Nobody's a mind reader, Anil. Nobody should be reading each other's mind. We should be having.
I don't say don't waste time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, three strikes, and like it's quick,
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She knows what she wants. That's the same discussion as I was saying. Some people are quick, others, bloody hell, they could do 20 dates is not going nowhere. It's like a dead horse, we're still figuring out and this way. It's like, yeah, 1, 2, 3. We need to have the discussions. Where are we going? Some men are ready, some a bit not too sure, or they're still weighing their options, probably doing 4 or 5 dates trying to find the right one,
Exactly.
So,
you need to know.
So yeah, so she doesn't want to be. She doesn't want to.
Have you guys watched this show called Pop the Balloon? Have you seen it?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I love Pop the Balloon. Do you know they don't go on 100 dates. They don't go on 3 dates to get to know each other. They say, "This is what I want. This is what I'm looking for.
This is efficient.
This is quick. It's quick. This is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. Are you the person for me? Tell me what you want. Tell me what you're looking for." And then they decide then and there. Hold on. They decide then and there you're not the one.
I don't like it.
You don't like that?
No.
But the problem,
I like it. I'm like, hold on a minute.
You know why? People can sell you the best qualities up front. People will sell you their best qualities up front.
That is true.
It's okay for me to say I'm a single parent. I work hard. I earn this. You will find that out from me anyway. But there's subtle things. They won't tell you that they can be crazy when your phone goes off in the night. They tell tell you that they want to always have a look on the name before you pick your call. They will not say that. They will tell you that they're not with money and they have miles and miles of debt and they can pinch your money and add to that. They won't say that. So it's like you're selling yourself. I'm just going to pop a balloon or agree just by what you're saying. Also, come and say to you, "Oh, I hit my ex with and broke his hair because he spoke rudely to me." They won't say that up front. So I don't think it's a good way. I think I'd rather go out with you and encounter you in different scenarios, be able to pick subtle things about you that you will never say to me, and I will never be able to find out unless I sit with you in different scenarios.
But when you also say most people, they are the best behavior on dates anyway, the man and the woman. From what I found, you tend to really find out really about a person when you live with them, because
even when you live with certain people, you can't know them. So dates, sometimes we see date as we're going to sit at your popular Nando's to have a meal. Meanwhile, dates could be, you know what, I'm driving up to see my son in uni. Can we go? I observe you in different scenarios. How we drive down, how you are when you're tired, how you are when I'm busy with my son and you don't feel like you're part of that conversation. All different points and scenarios. But we normally say, "Oh, I like a man to wine and dine me." So you're only fixed on that restaurant and having a meal. And then people will definitely be on the best behavior when they're you. They won't want to pick their teeth. They won't want to and let the smell come out. They won't want to pinch their pennies. They want to pay. Those are niceties that they will show you. But change the scenario when you're talking about dating. Go out somewhere. Go different places. Different scenarios, and then you'll see certain things will slip up.
Yeah, dating.
Sorry again, Anil, what are you gonna say?
What was he gonna say, sir?
No, what are you gonna say? Let's hear you.
Yeah, I was saying the problem nowadays, men and women, they both have options, and with all these dating, Sandra is talking to 3 people, the guy is talking to 3 ladies, so everyone is just sizing everyone up,
No, it's not like that. I'm not saying like that. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying when I listened to the podcast and what the woman was saying is you date intentionally. You want to date because I would say if I want to date someone, I need someone who's going to be serious, right? And if you're going to date me because you want to have fun, I need to find out. And I don't need but I need to find out. No, and I don't need to find out 3 months later that you only wanted to have fun with me.
So let me ask you, ladies, how do you feel?
It's not fair.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
Now, you're busy trying to you want to have fun. You just want to have this is.
Yeah, but can I ask you a question? How do you ladies feel when a man just said, "I just want to have fun with you, nothing else"?
You say what you want. You say what you want. If you want to have fun too, say it. Be upfront. If that's not what you want, that's what Sandra is saying about being intentional. If that's not what you want, say, "You know what? I've been there. I've done that. I have the T-shirt. I just want something serious. So I'm afraid that's not for me." And you're being honest to yourself and being honest to him, so you can walk away early enough, knowing it is or it isn't what you want.
Exactly. And you know what? The funny thing is that's what I do. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm going out with you, we're gonna have a meal, we have a meal together, we get to know each other. I would turn around and say to you, sooner or later, I'm gonna say to you, this is what I want. And you can turn around and say, I want the same thing. Yes, it will hurt. It will hurt me because I might like you, but it's better that I'm safe and away from you because we don't want the same things. Because in the long run, you're going to hurt me or somebody's going to get hurt in the long run. It's either going to be me or it's going to be you, or we're going to cut this really quickly so none of us get hurt and we all go find somebody who we really want to be with. Because it's not fair on my time, my energy, my strength, and my finances. Honestly, because just because I'm going out on a date with a guy doesn't mean the guy is going to be spending. I'm going to also be spending. I'm going to be spending money on my eyelashes and trying to get my... the hair done. Like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, but can I ask a question?
All that
Because
costs
my
money and
friends,
time. And time.
my,
Come
my
on
friends
now.
was my friends was single. They tell me when they tell girls that they just want to have fun, some girls find it as an insult. So they said they'd rather they pretend that they're looking for something more serious. Because the minute they say that, some girls find it offensive. Would you say is it because they're not mature enough, or I don't know what it is?
No, it's because that's not what the girl wants. Simple.
Mm.
If you're saying to me you just want to have fun, and I say, you know what, bye, it's because that's not what I want. They should be able to respect that that's not what she wants. That's why she's offended. And I would say to her, walk away. Don't say because you're not hung up on this guy, you're not upset because you like him enough, but you don't want just have fun, so you're upset. Just walk away. He's told you up front. There's no other thing he's gonna tell you later on. Just walk away. So
But
he should know, but because that's what he wants, that's not what she wants. She has the right to either. She might be upset because she feels like he's led her on a little bit down the line. Because if he said it from the scratch, from the start, she can walk away.
yeah, but my problem, they keep saying that some girls they never say they want to have fun because they'll be seen as the slags or the easy because the ladies.
You're already
So they
calling me
never.
a slut, Anil. You already
No,
called me a slut.
I'm saying some
We're
ladies.
dating different men. You already said that
No,
already. Yeah.
no, I'm saying some ladies they want to have fun, but because the nature of the woman, they don't want to say it because the guy might be thinking, oh, he's gonna think I'm a slag, because I've confessed this is what I want to do,
But there's still a way he can get the truth out of her without her saying
How? This is what I'm asking.
specifically.
This is what I'm asking you, ladies. Tell me.
You can say to her, you know what, I really want to settle down. Are you looking to like settle down anytime soon? That will bring the truth out of her. She can say, you know what, I don't really feel like I'm ready. I just want to, know people first. Certain prompting questions will come up where she will give you certain indications that she is not ready to settle down.
Yeah, but my question, they keep saying a lot of girls out there, they seem confused. They don't even know what they want. No wonder why there's so many of them that single out there. They don't
Anil,
actually know.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Anil. In my experience with women, like I'm not a lesbian or anything like that. But you know what I mean? My experience with hanging around with women, most women want to settle down. They don't want to just have fun. If hold on, can I say no? When they want to have fun, they want to have fun with their husbands, or they want to have fun with their partners, or they want to have fun with the person they're committed in a relationship with. Because what we have to understand is that we are wired differently from men. We're not wired the same. So when you say I want to have fun, what do you mean by having fun?
Yeah.
Do you want to go play on the playground and we can swing? Do you know what I mean? There's a different level of fun, right?
Somebody remind me that you're correct. No,
do you know what I mean? Like, there's a different level of fun, right?
Yeah.
If you want to go to the playground and swing the ball and you want to play football, I will have fun with you. I will play football with you. If you want to swing me on a swing, I will swing me on a swing. Come on now, let's do this. Because I can have fun. Just dancing and let's go dancing. That's having fun. But when you say, oh, I just want to have fun, what you're trying to say, you want to screw the hell out of me, do whatever you want with me, put me in all sorts of kind of positions that you are fantasizing about, and then you're going to let me go from a piece of shit. And that's not fair. That's not fair. Because guess what? Most women are not wired that way. We're not wired to just have fun. As soon as we see someone, we bond with that person. No matter what we say to you, we want more than just having fun. We want to have fun, but we want to have fun with the one. We want to have fun with that one particular person. We don't want to go. We don't even want to go on different dates. Let's be honest.
So my question is, if the man says, I want you to be my second wife or third, what's your view on that?
You know what? No, hell no.
What about you, Bliss? If a husband come, I want you to be my second wife or third.
No.
Yeah,
unless I belong to that religion and that culture. Well,
but it's not just religion.
No, thank you.
So I want to understand from you ladies' perspective. How do some women accept to be a second or third wife? How does I don't get it.
I don't understand. Okay, so I think it's religious as well. Religion. If you're a Muslim woman, sometimes it's religion that allows that.
But
That way.
it's not just Muslims who do that though.
Yeah,
That's true.
all culture, all
Sometimes
culture.
it's cultural. Sometimes it's
Culture.
cultural, but that's because
Mm.
they've been brought up in that environment and they're okay with that. I think because if you've been brought and you're okay with it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think if you're not being brought up in that environment and you're not okay with it, then it's not okay. To me, I think if you're gonna have a second or third wife, you better be able to afford those wives. You better
Yeah,
be able
but
to keep the
some men
same way.
can. Some men can afford.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can as a man because every woman. I don't have to explain it to you. I don't think you can, as a person, be able to divide yourself. No, it's division, isn't it? You're dividing yourself up to different people, right? And giving yourself
But
up to
this,
different people. So you can't. I don't think you can actually divide yourself because what time and energy do you have? Go to work, look after the kids, spend time with the kids, spend time with the wife. What other time do you have to spend time with somebody else? What you have to create that time, and that means somewhere along the line, someone's going to lose out. Somewhere along the line, someone's going to feel like they're not secure with you.
They got the short end of the stick. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't want this. This is what I want. I want you to be here with me and cuddle me, but you can't cuddle me because you're too busy cuddling another woman. You get what I mean? Like there's always something missing. Even these men, well, women and men, because men and women can cheat. Even with the men that cheat or women that cheat, you're dividing your time and energy and your money to somebody else. I've actually wrote that in my book. I remember saying that. Now you read my book. He read my book, so he knows. Do you remember? That shit? And you said you like my book, so I'll be laughing. I said you got to ask yourself. Remember that there's a part where I say you've got to ask yourself, how much money do you have to divide? You're dividing yourself up. That means you have less money. You want to be rich. You cannot be rich.
Yeah, because women are expensive.
Because women are expensive.
Yeah.
That means you're not
they all want money.
Can I tell you something? That means you don't really have someone's gonna be shortchanged.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone's gonna go mad.
Emotionally, mentally, physically,
you can't do everything.
In any kind of way. Yeah.
I agree, but in some people do it. I don't even know how.
They do it because the woman turned around and said, I think the woman doesn't actually want that man. The first wife doesn't want the man. She probably wants the lifestyle, but not the man.
Yeah, but I've been to some countries where the wife, 2, 3, they live together comfortably, and that man is the main guy, and they're all okay with it.
In those countries, it's a cultural thing. It's expected, it's accepted. But so they do it because they're used to it. It's how they've grown up.
And they actually live together, Sandra, civilized. Like,
you know what? When I read Nelson Mandela's book, he did say that he's
like you and Bliss, you'd have the same husband, and you still be going out eating and talking like it's cash.
You know what? I did read it in Nelson Mandela's book. I think he said his dad was married to different women, and they all came to the house. Like at one point, the wife number one will come, and the other wife will come, and they will talk civilly. They'll be civil with each other. And I remember reading when the first chapters of his book, he's talking about his childhood, and he does mention the fact that his father had different wives, and they all were civil. They were quite civil, and I think in my mind, I think deep down inside that woman's had enough, and she's like, you can have him. Yeah, but she's not gonna tell you because she's gonna have, because women are conditioned to be polite, right? She's gonna be, you can have him in her mind, but what she's thinking is, I just want the money. I really don't want him physically anymore, because even I've had enough, or maybe she's on her stage of menopause and she's like, I'm feeling dry. I don't want this. and then younger woman comes and she's like, oh, I can do this for you, I can do that for you, and then the woman's thinking, you have him because I really don't want him. I really don't.
Sharing is caring,
I just feel like do you know what I mean? Because one of them is having, and the other one of them is receiving, the other one is not receiving. Somebody's not receiving.
I agree.
Sorry, you know what, we talk so much, I even forgot questions. I don't even know what questions. Well, I don't know what question we're at, number 3 or number 4. No, hold on a minute.
But is
what does,
anyone gonna watch this for 2 hours? Wow.
what does becoming unstuck look like? What does becoming unstuck look like?
I'm stuck.
Mm.
What do you mean I'm stuck?
So basically, if you are feeling insecure, if you're not safe in a relationship, if you're not feeling safe in a relationship, if you're not you're not getting what your needs and are not being met, and you're feeling stuck. Sometimes, like you said, physically,
Mm.
mentally, you're feeling stuck. How do you become unstuck? How do you get
But
out of the situation?
but sometimes it's hard, you know. A lot of people are stuck, especially in England, you know. Sometimes they don't know who to turn to, they don't know who to trust, who to talk to. Because not everybody wants to expose themselves, you know,
Yeah,
especially if they've been violated, you know.
You're correct.
Some people have been violated in a relationship. They never thought would happen to them. My wife or his girl, he fell in love, she cheated on him. I was like, I can't even tell the man them that, you know. I can't tell my sisters, I can't tell my that. I can't tell citizen advise me, you know. So sometimes people
Yeah.
you know, sometimes people are suffering in silence, you know. Like for example, I had one landlord. He was when I was a student. This guy, he had everything going for himself. You know, he had money, he had the thing, but his girlfriend was cheated on him, and the man lost. He couldn't understand. And I was like, boy. So that really taught me a lesson. Even if you have money, you've got the looks, that doesn't guarantee you safety. You know.
mm. I love the way
Mm.
you said that. That's really good because it's true. Because
Yeah, because that taught me a lesson in
mm,
my early years as a student. Even when I was hustling, doing my taxi and everything. I got to see some ladies. They had some of the richest men out there. The houses they'll be dropped into. Be like, my husband is in Dubai. Is this? They had big, serious businessmen with so much money. I'm thinking, damn. And these ladies, they will go out and they just want to have fun. The people they'll go with, the men they had more dough than the people they're having fun with. And you're like, what? And I used to ask them, why? Oh, you know the problem. My husband has so much money. Like, I'm not told. This is not even Instagram. Like I could see, like the gates, the gated houses, they're getting dropped. But the only problem is never here. You know, he never has time for me. I was like, raw. So
So
just
there's
mm,
because you,
a reason then. There's a specific reason then. It's not just out of the blues.
but
There's
that's what I'm saying. So that
yeah.
really made me. That taught me a lesson. A lot of men tend to think that money will save you. No, money won't save you. People need more than just your money. You know. So
Yeah,
I was like, hmm?
he's not being emotionally intelligent to the fact that he's not meeting her needs.
Yeah, exactly. But me,
He's not coming to terms with reality.
yeah,
You know.
but my problem growing up as a young man, you learn. That's when I start realizing that money is not everything, you know. When you're a young boy trying to come up, you think, yo, once I have money, this, I'll be like, no, like you can have it all, but that doesn't mean you're gonna have the world, you know? And doesn't mean because you got the money, you're gonna be happy, you can get anyone you want.
Mhm, mhm.
And yeah, these girls, they were out constantly, these ladies living in big mansion. So you also need to be present, you know, time for your partner. That really taught me that it's not just about chase, say, oh, babe, I ain't got time for you. I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. Busy for what? So it's people kind of need your presence. You know, they don't just want you for what you have. They also want you to be a part of them.
Mhm, mhm.
So that I just thought I would share
no,
to
that's
what
really
people go
no, that's
through. Hmm?
that's really important to share because I have to admit I remember I dated a guy who was very very rich and and he was rich but he treated me like shit and I remember saying to myself I don't need this man's money and people would look at me and say oh you're lucky he's got money and I'm like money is not enough for me. I
You're
don't need the
lucky.
Mm-mm.
money. It's not the money I'm looking for. I'm looking for companionship. I'm looking for emotional like security. I'm looking for safety. I'm looking for love. And the guy would have the money and he would have the BMWs and whatever else is, but it wasn't. I said to myself, no, I need to get out. I'll run out. I need to listen. I put my high heels and I'm gone because no, but you're laughing, but it's you're right because to be honest with you, from an early age, I realized yes, you have the money, you may have the looks, but you're not meeting my needs. And
Correct.
because you're not meeting my needs, I don't feel safe here. I don't feel secure here. You're using that. And the thing is, when a man has money, he has power. He can use that money to buy flowers for you and another woman and another woman and another, because that money doesn't mean anything to him.
Yeah.
It can to me,
And money can make you arrogant as well sometimes, you know?
it does. I think the guy was arrogant. He was very arrogant.
Mm.
I got money, I can buy any woman. And to be honest, I was like, go ahead, just not me. Just not me, because I wasn't after. When I came for you, I didn't come for your money. I came for you. But because you're not providing me you're not even, you're being rude and being mean. Can't stick around in that environment. I can't be in that environment. And I say to people, I'm not materialistic. But what I meant was, actually, it wasn't my environment. That's not, money doesn't make me want to be with you. It's the connection I have with you.
The
And
bonding.
the bonding. And I'm kind of glad as well that I'm not from a background where I've always had like jewelry and I've had expensive stuff and I've always like just got by. So because I know I don't need the jewelry, I don't need the fancy clothes, I don't need to be with someone. I have that inside of me. So even if I don't have the fancy clothes, I don't have all that stuff, it's okay. I could still, it's okay with me. But anyone who thinks that they're gonna get with a man who's got money and they're gonna be okay, good luck to them. Because at the end of the day, it takes more than money to be with someone. Do
What
you know what I
about you,
mean?
Bliss? Bliss, what's your perspective?
Well, you have to look at it depends on the reason you're going into it. Some people specifically go into stuff like that for the money.
Would you do that personally?
No, no, no.
Why not?
You should have the money, but I want to be able to rely on you for other things that a man should provide. Your the safety, the security. I should be able to have a conversation with you. We should be planning intentionally, building together towards something. I'm not just coming to leech off you because of the money, and you're not just coming to have me around maybe because of my body. It has to be, I'm that sort of person. Let me just give you a secret, not to the internet world. If I'm not mentally connected with you,
Into you.
either
Mm.
your level of intelligence, emotionally, or even academic intelligence, some form of intelligence, if I can't find it up here, I don't care what you have in your pocket. I don't care what you have in your pocket.
Uh, no,
And
you know,
yeah,
the reason I'm laughing, there's a guy sent me a video in Nigeria. This guy was going around talking rubbish, like a man with no money, like you shouldn't be dealing with him, like like money was so glamorized. And then his other friend came and slapped him on his head. They say, "What are you talking about? 100? How much you have? You know?"
no,
So this guy was encouraging me like, money is the most important thing. Is all and all.
no, it isn't, because
Yeah.
always it depends on the stage where you meet someone. If you meet someone and both of you are really young, you're starting out, you have to know that there will be some level of struggles between you two until money starts to come. If you're waiting for when money comes before you get with someone, you end up getting with married rich old men, because they already have gone through the suffering stage and then they are now stable. So it depends on what you come into it for. If you're starting and you want to build with someone, you have to know that that person will be starting from scratch. And you are starting from scratch. And if you're intentional, you can build together towards a common goal. It's only when you're selfish, not ready to build, you want it already made, that's when you go into it for all the selfish reasons.
Mm.
So I'm gonna go back to the question again. What does becoming unstuck look like? Yeah. In terms of how does become unsafe, how do you get out of an unsafe environment? Basically, it's how do we get out of an unsafe environment? Can I just say that I think you can get out of unsafe, this is my experience. Coming out of an unsafe environment is basically knowing that that environment is unsafe. That's not
Yeah.
what you want. Knowing that is not what I want. And also I think looking at yourself and saying, okay, this is not what I want, so I'm going to walk away. Physically walking away, and knowing that you're going to leave things behind. That you may have to leave your clothes behind, your furniture behind, whatever you have to leave behind, so that you can step away from the unsafe environment. Another thing I think as well, knowing that God wants more for you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have to understand is that you were saying about some people don't want to leave their relationships because they don't want to be without a man. That people, friends that have actually been out with guys, and they always have a boyfriend, they always have to have a man. I think having the knowledge, knowing that, okay, I may not be with someone, but I'm still okay.
Yeah.
Having that knowledge that being with a man is not the beyonder, that you're more than just your husband, and you're more than just your partner, you're more than just the relationship that you're in. So I think that's how you become unstuck. And also forgiving that person who you're with, who you're leaving, because sometimes we hold grudges and we say, I was with this person that treated me like this, and this is the reason why I'm like this, and I hate them. Forgiving that person for not being the person that you wanted them to be. I think,
and also forgiving yourself,
and then forgiving yourself at the same time because allowing yourself to make the mistakes, and are they really mistakes or are they really lessons? Do you get what I mean? Like, are they really lessons? And then when I look at my growth in terms of getting away from being unstuck, I think I've had to learn to forgive. I've had to learn to understand that actually that person was just not the person. They were just not the person that I painted them to be. And I forgive myself for allowing myself to put myself in that position.
Yes.
But at the same time, forgiving them and allowing them to be themselves and walking away from that situation. Because at the end of the day, I think I've had to learn to love myself. To love myself, whether I'm with someone or whether I'm not with that person, and to acknowledge the fact that actually I have a greater purpose than just being in a relationship. And I think that's how you become unstuck, is loving yourself enough to say, God doesn't want me to hurt. God doesn't want me to suffer. He wouldn't put me in a position where where it's not good enough for me. And knowing that that's not good enough for you. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's not like, okay, if I have a husband and I'm with that husband for 20 years or whatever, and they get ill, that's a different story. And then they start throwing tantrums and they start behaving a certain way, they get dementia or whatever else is. That's a different story. But if I'm getting to know a person and the person's mistreating me, I have a right to leave, and I'm gonna be okay when I leave.
Yes, you do.
Whether I'm gonna find Mr. Right later on, that's neither or either. Whatever happens to me, I'm going to be okay.
Right, that's true.
And I think that's
no, it's okay. I also just want to address, there might be someone who is listening to us, maybe today, tomorrow, 10 years from now, and you're in a relationship where you're scared for your life. You need to know that you can reach out for help. There are women's refuge in the UK here where you can quietly seek help, and they'll be able to remove you from that violence or that violent situation. You might be watching us now. It is toxic. This person is aggressive to you. It's a steady case of domestic violence, but you either don't have family members around you, you don't have friends you can speak with. Just know that you can reach out to refuge. There are women's refuge all around in the UK that you can quietly seek for help. Go there from time to time, talk to them, tell them what's happening. And if it's becoming a life-threatening situation, they should be able to get you a safe place, yourself and your children. I just wanted to throw that in there because some people don't know that they can get away from domestic violence or violent situations.
But I have a question. What some ladies like the violence business. What's wrong? Are they not normal?
When you say like, you have to define.
No. Yeah, okay. I've heard this is what I've been told. Some ladies say I like it rough. I like when he strangles me or when he beats. Like
then she shouldn't be seeking the refuge.
Yes, I'm only asking. Or I've had some girls as well say, "Oh, I can't leave him. The sex is too good. It's just crazy stuff, which I don't get myself."
Anil, can I just come into that? Can I come in? Yes, can I come in for a minute? Because remember when I said to you that I think what we have to understand, when a woman is intimate with a man, they are bonding. they are bonding, whether we like it or not. That's a bond. And what men tend to not, men's biological and how they are built inside is different from how a woman is built. When a woman has
Mm.
sex with a man, she is bonding. So all these emotions are coming. So he might be violent, he might be physically or financially abusing her, but she just remembers the bond. It was so strong that she now
Yeah.
has to differentiate between. She has to now understand that, okay, that's why I think sometimes you should not really sleep with anyone until you really want to sleep with, like, until you know who you are, because at the end of the day, when you sleep with someone, you're bonding. When you bond, your emotions are all overrun. You're confused,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because do you know what I mean? Like, you're confused now because now you're thinking, okay, that was really nice, but actually you don't treat me nice.
Yeah.
That's why you have to understand, what do you really want. And I also say again, it's consistency. Do you want consistency or inconsistency? Do you want somebody to always be there with you and to be there for you and to give you that safe haven, or do you want somebody who's going to treat you like shit and then just give you sex? Because that's not long lasting. If that's you're abusing your own body. You're
But
actually
again,
taking.
I
No, no,
don't
hold on,
understand
hold
this
on.
from
Hold on a
ladies.
minute. And the women that say that, they might not actually mean what they say. You have to understand as well. Women say things that they want you to hear because they want their attention. They're immature. Like you said about emotional intelligence. Um, I remember, I don't know how to explain. I remember this guy in my class. He said to me, he said to the whole class, I don't understand why women stay with in abusive relationships. And they say things like, oh, but I love him. And I remember the guy saying that to me. He didn't say it to me, he said it's the whole class. And I remember that. And I thought to myself, let me tell you something, that ain't happening to me, because I had how he perceived it. So when I got into a relationship and this man tried to hit me, I moved quick because I was like, I remember what my classmate said, and I don't want to be that woman. Do you get what I
But
mean?
what?
Hold on a minute. But then if hold on a minute, but if I didn't have that incident, if I didn't hear that guy say that, the likelihood I probably may have stayed longer because I was intimate with that person, because of the bond that I had created with that person. The fact that I slept with him and I don't want to sleep with anyone else. I don't want to be known as a slapper or a slap. And everyone knows I'm with this person. So when that person now abuses me, how do I deal with that? How do I change him? How do I make him better? So I'm okay. And then so all that, it's like a mind game. You're playing with your own mind. You're playing with your own mind. But I was very lucky that in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm not sticking around if that happens to me, because I don't want to be the laughing stock of my classmate from back end. Do you know what I mean? I was lucky that's what my thought process was. But a lot of women, their thought process isn't like that, and they allow
Yeah.
it because now they allow it, and they have to make an excuse as to why they should stay there, knowingly that's abuse.
A lot of women have been conditioned to remain there. Tradition, religion have conditioned some women to remain there. And we're seeing a very high rise of women dying now by the hands of the person who's supposed to support them and build them
Hey.
up. Because when you go out, the family is like, no, you're gonna be this person known in this family for this. Go back. The grandmothers are speaking, the mothers are speaking, the church people are saying, and you turn around and everybody sees you like this slut that have left somewhere because you couldn't continue to be a punching bag to someone, or an emotional shatter case, or someone who's using you for the craziness in his head. He's lashing it out on you. So people are conditioned to stay, conditioned not to complain, conditioned not to speak out. And then
Yeah.
they're taking their dead bodies out of the house. It's happening now. It's happened quite a lot in the country where I'm from, where before they say, oh, stay, stay. Now churches are being sensitized to say, you know what, if this is happening, speak up. If this is happening, come out, talk to someone, and then we'll be able to guide you. The refuge in the UK, they've done a lot of help to women. At least it gives you a place to run to while you're figuring out, do I still want to be there? And he's figuring out, Have I done the right thing by all my abuse to her? Do I all of that? So don't continue where the next thing that might happen to you, someone might kill you. And then
And can I say something as well? You got to remember the children that get affected by all this.
they are affected by
You
it. Yeah.
know, you staying in that relationship, you're actually saying to your children, it's okay to be used like
Yeah.
this. It's okay to be
Yeah.
abused like this. It's
Yeah.
okay. Like this is
And,
how
and then,
life
and then
is.
you're teaching the boys that it's okay for them to abuse their future partners because you're tolerating what their father's doing to you. That's what I was going back to what I said about the kind of role model these sons have in the house, even when they have fathers in the house. I was thinking, let's talk about a very loving, romantic relationship for once before. Let's not all focus about the bad. And they tell us something. A woman who is well loved and adored, how should she look, feel, and behave? Let's talk about something nice. You know, Sandra, we want to be wined and dined and loved, and
Come on, Anil. Come on, you're the married one here, so you need to tell us.
yeah. What should we be expecting when we come back into that? You know,
Well, what should a woman who's getting love, what she should look like or how she should feel?
how we are looking at you now. You're loving on your wife and all that, and we're thinking, oh, we're jealous. What are we missing?
Well, it's someone who's there who gives you attention, someone who cares about you, someone who's spontaneous, someone who likes living. I like living, and to treat my wife good. I'm gonna get her some good gifts for Valentine. You know what she wanted.
I
I
love
think,
that.
Yeah, we're Valentine now, Sandra.
yeah, you gotta. I'm a man of romance. I give romance because I think it's important. A relationship is not meant to be sour. And it's not meant to be a war.
Mm,
It's nice. It's to create good environment. And be happy to enjoy. Because
mm,
there's a lot of grim and this about relationship, and just have fun. Let's go out together, and the kids, and also the kids they feel around the household. It's like I'm at home, my wife, she's upstairs with a kid. I can be myself. I don't have to hide.
mm,
So that gives me peace of mind. I can say whatever I want. you know, I could I could say whatever I want. So that's nice. And the kids, my girls, are saying to me, "Oh, daddy, come sleep with us." I'm like, no, I'm working. I'll come back later. So a good energy at home goes
mm,
along the way. Positivity, good energy, which I feel again, as I keep saying, a lot of people have lost that. It's the small things. It's the small things, and looking the woman as well, see what she wants. I think I love women. They're very good at telling you what they want and what they don't want. You know, I like to ask them, what do you want? Where do you want to see yourself? What do you do? What would mean the world? What would mean the world to you? X, Y, and Z. They give you a list, but and you try and pick the list. You try and
wow,
pick.
that's really nice.
You try and
That's really
deliver the list. Hmm?
that's
You
really nice.
try and Yeah, you try and deliver the list of what they want. Obviously you get married, the wedding is really for the woman. It's not really for you. The honeymoons, the holidays a lot of times. So yeah, you gotta keep pampering your woman because a woman is like a flower, If
Oh,
you don't
that's nice.
if you
So sweet.
if you don't keep up that gardening flower, it's just gonna collapse, Mm,
True.
Yeah,
So
I
what?
always say a woman always needs cream in the hair. If that hair is not getting cream, it's not gonna. It's gonna fail in a way.
Do you know? I think that's really sweet. That's really nice. That's really nice. That is see. That's how we should be treated, Bliss. You
Exactly.
understand, girl?
Yes.
Yeah, but also, Sandra, remember, some ladies they don't want that. Some ladies say that's boring. I don't want no good stuff like that. So,
No. You
No.
so
no.
some ladies are psycho. Hmm?
Yeah, but then
Remember when you was at school?
That's
some
why
girls, when you was at school, some girls are color be like, oh, I don't like him. He's too nice to me.
Ooh, wow.
So what do you
But they
want?
were young. They were young and immature, and they didn't know what they wanted, and they probably didn't fancy that person because you can fancy somebody who's not good for you.
Exactly.
I think.
So why is it good guys finish for last first?
I don't think so. I think that's not. I think that's not true. I think sometimes you just don't. I think there's physical fancying someone, and there's intelligently, like emotionally fancying someone. I think sometimes you can fancy someone who's very good looking, and you get to know them, and you're like, he's actually great. He looks good, but he's not intelligent. Like he's just not. Not even say intelligent, but he's not. He's not feeding my brain. So I think when you're young, you go for the looks because I think naturally as human beings, we like nice things, right? Everybody likes nice things, and we like nice, good looking men. But sometimes when you get to know that person, then you realize actually you're good looking, but you're
that's all there is. That's all there is.
That is you've just been blessed with a good face, or a good body, but you're not really blessed. You know what I mean? Like you're not really emotionally blessed because you can't, because it takes more than just your looks. When you lose your looks, you must have something else about you. And the same with the woman. Same with the woman. If you lose your looks, there must be something else about you because you're gonna lose your looks. Something's gonna happen. I mean, you're gonna put on weight, lose weight. You're gonna have makeup on, less not makeup on. You're gonna have days when you're on, like when you're feeling great, the days when you don't feel so great. So I think when you think about it, it's all about and sometimes you got to remember that some girls sometimes they're immature. When you are starting out sometimes girls are immature. And I think men can also be immature as well at certain points in their lives.
Someone has left a comment.
What did they say?
If Beyonce and Harry Berry got cheated on, nobody's exempt.
It's the quality of men they had. No.
Wow. Some girls are sending.
Sasha, we're not dealing with them quality of men.
Hey.
Money, but no. There's
Sandra, you hear that? Sandra, you see that? That's statement what someone has wrote.
I see that. I see that. If Halle Berry and Beyonce can get cheated, exempted.
Wow.
If they didn't have the right yardstick, the men they pick are not the right yardstick. There is no one because they're Beyonce or they're Halle Berry didn't mean that they had guys. They just had normal everyday guys who had more money in their pockets or who had a name or something. Didn't mean that they were completely right or that they'll be right for anybody else or just for them. A man who will cheat rich or poor. A man who will not cheat rich or poor. So if you were poor and you didn't cheat and you were rich, you cheated, it means you were always going to cheat. So whether you were with Beyonce or Halle Berry or you're coming to me or Sandra, if you are a cheater, you will cheat. And if you were not, then you won't be. So it doesn't mean that because these women did well, that's the right yardstick for men
Bliss, would you forgive your man if he cheated on you?
I would. If I see that he genuinely came to terms, it will be a whole lifetime of therapy going on because it's hard for you to trust someone once they've cheated. You don't know. But then there has to be some sense of ownership of what he's done. And it has to be the one time. It can't be a
What about you, Sandra?
I find this whole this whole thing.
What about you, Sandra? You're gonna go mad. You're gonna go mental. He's not a dirty one on me. How dare you?
Let me go back to the Halle Berry and Beyonce. Can I tell you something? Men that cheat, I don't think they're looking at a woman's how pretty the woman is. I think they're just looking at what they've got down there. They're not thinking about how pretty. Because I've seen men cheat, and they cheat on ugly. They'll cheat with an ugly woman, or they'll cheat with a very beautiful woman, and another beautiful woman, and another beautiful woman. It's not about how pretty you are, and I think we all getting it wrong. It's sometimes some people just can't control themselves. Some people are sex
It's the quality of the man. It has nothing to do with the women.
And it's got nothing to do with the women cheating, because I also think as well, what you have to understand is some men are conditioned thinking that cheating is okay.
So what would you do then?
Growing up in an environment where maybe their fathers cheated, or maybe the boys that they hang around with, they're all doing it, so it's okay for me to do it. So I think as well, we have to think, why is that person cheating? Is it because they feel like they're not satisfied, they're not having enough? Or is it because they grew up in an environment thinking it's okay? And also, you have to understand do you understand the impact you're having on that person when you cheat? Because we're talking about cheating, and it's funny, and it's I understand what it is, but then you're cheating and you're spreading diseases. You're cheating and you're spreading STDs. You're cheating and you're emotionally impacting on every single person you're cheating on. You're cheating and you're creating different bondings with different women. And you're cheating and you're having different babies with different women. So in the end, what you're doing, you're destroying your own soul and another soul and another soul and another soul. So in going back to what Anil was saying, would I forgive a guy if he cheated on me? I don't think I would. Because
why? I thought you're a child of God.
Let me tell you why. Because Bliss is right. Let me tell you why. Because I think what you have to understand is that you've broken that bond that I had with you, and I'll never have it again. In all honestly, as much as I would want to forgive you, at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, can I do that as well? And you'd be all right with it? Because if I can't do it and you won't be all right with it, how could you do it? And second of all, can I really trust you? Can I be myself around you? Am I safe with you? Because when you're cheating, are you also talking to that woman about me?
Exactly.
So my question to you, do you believe in what you don't know won't hurt you type of philosophy?
No, I just believe that it does hurt you, because even if you don't know,
But you just said you wouldn't forgive him. If he said, if I know Sandra's gonna catch me.
Even if you don't know, but you will know. Because there will be an emotional change in that man. There'll be a physical change in that man. You might be intimate with, you might be like, baby, I want some tonight. And he'll be like, no, baby, I don't want any tonight. And you'll be like, well, that's not your pattern.
You will know.
You would know. You would know.
Yeah, but what if he told you not breaking it down anymore properly? Like you're shit in bed.
Let's go to sex sessions somewhere. Let's go to some lessons and learn something. I will learn with you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like to. So
you're willing to learn, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that's good. But some ladies find that as an insult, you know?
No. I think if you are not willing to learn, and I think if you're willing to give somebody what they want, and they're willing to give you what you want, I think you're compromising. Going back to compromising, right? It's about you're gonna let's be honest. We all want to be satisfied. No. Whether it's emotionally or physically, we all want to be satisfied.
Yeah, we want to be happy. Yeah.
So bear in mind, if you're talking to me and you're telling me I'm not providing, you might not be providing either. Do you get what I mean? Like, so let's welcome that conversation. When you're not providing, have I got a safe space to tell you, baby, you're not meeting my needs? Can we try something else? Yeah.
Communication is key. Actually, communication is key. Yeah. A good two-way communication.
So, but you can't cheat on me thinking that I didn't give you what you want. Say again, please, what you're saying?
A two-way communication will bring everything up, and then you start to find a headway to solving the problem. Communication is key in these issues.
But let me tell you something. You can't turn around and say to me you cheated on me because I wasn't providing for you. Exactly. Because you can't. Because if you didn't tell me, how am I supposed to know?
Maybe the man was scared. Like, if I tell her, she's not.
Then that means you're not safe with me. Mm-hmm. You're not safe to tell me what you're not saying. You can't. How are we going to get to the point where we're married, and you can't even tell me what you're feeling?
And for real, Sandra, that's what's going to break the marriage or relationship. Not even the fact that he cheated, but the fact that how can I have lived with you and you were nursing this feeling and you'd never told me? That's the that's the woman because she feels how else are you what else are you hiding or not telling me that I don't know?
Yeah, but my problem I have sometimes, maybe you
Exactly.
guys are different. Sometimes ladies is like if you see something bad, not good as a man, it's like they don't want you to say. It's like, oh, you're not supposed to say that to a woman.
What do
No,
you
I
mean?
think you have to find a way of saying things that are in
I
a
say
way that
woman, say for example, if her food is not good or she doesn't look right, she's not cutting it. Some ladies they can't handle when you say like a negative. Oh, you're not supposed to say that to a lady.
There is a way you communicate these things though. There is
Yeah,
a
but
way.
how? Some ladies cannot accept any negativity or
you know what you
positive
can do. You know
construct.
what I tell you, Anil, what you do. Let me tell you what you do, right? And I'm gonna pretend that I'm the husband, right? Baby, you know you're beautiful, right? You know, baby, you know I love you, right? But baby, this food, I'm gonna tell you about this food. This food doesn't taste good, but you are beautiful, and I'm always gonna love you and only you. But baby, we're gonna take some takeaway, or we're gonna have to be me and you are gonna take some cooking lessons. Or you'd be like, but baby, and then you give that woman a kiss straight away. You know what I mean? Like because now you've reassured her, I still love you regardless whether your cooking is bad or good, right?
Yeah.
Tell somebody your cooking is crap. Hold on. Okay, so you're telling me my cooking is crap. So what? So what? How? What we're gonna do? You know, the woman
Mhm.
starts tensing out because now
Yeah,
you're
it
telling
brings tension.
you're
And you
bringing tension because the way you said that. If you're telling me, "Oh, baby, I love you," you know, I feel you're so beautiful. You come and give me a hug, and you give me a kiss, and you stroke my hair, and you know, you do nice things, and you give me flowers, and you say, "Baby, I love you," but baby, can I tell you something? We're gonna have to take takeaway tonight because this food is not right. You know, me and you know it's not right. And then you give her a
Mm.
kiss, right? Go, "Mwah, mwah, mwah." You know, I love you, but let's get some Chinese because this Chinese that you're cooking at home is not
uh-huh.
doing it for us. But
And it,
you've done it in a loving way, a loving manner.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
sweet. Yeah.
it's reassurance again. It's reassurance again because you're telling me something. Or you could even say, baby, I don't know what perfume you're using, but it's not doing it for me right now. But I love you. You know, like mwah. You know what I mean? Like you always have to you have to remember
Mm.
that I just want to know that you still love me regardless. Do you get what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
want
of
to know
course.
that whether or not my cooking is rubbish, whether or not today I didn't put on the right perfume, or you know, I didn't put on
Or your
or
outfit is not.
my outfit is right. Just come and cuddle me and say, look, baby, your outfit is rubbish, but I love you. That's it. That's all I need to know. You're still there for me. You're
yeah.
still got me, you know. But if you turn around and say, Sandra, you're always wearing rubbish clothes. Your cooking is terrible. You're always banning the food. I'm gonna have my back. I'm gonna have my back. I'm gonna be
Mm.
like,
You're gonna have your guards up. Yeah.
my guards are gonna be up. I'm ready for you now. Like I'm gonna tell you
Mm.
about you. I'll tell you, like you've lined them up for me. Okay, I'm gonna line up for you as well. Can you cook as well? Because I didn't see you in the
Mm.
kitchen last week. You know, like, you know. So I think it's how you say it. And to be honest with you, why is it that? Can I say something? Why is it that sometimes we treat other people better than our own people at home?
Yes. Yeah. We got too used
Like
to them. That's
why?
why. We got too used
Yeah,
to them. That's why.
you got too used to them because you will
Them.
probably say it in a nicer way if it was a stranger than
Yeah.
because now you're with someone and you know that they're going to be there for you. You're
Yeah.
now being rude. Why are you
Yeah.
being rude? What you can't be rude. You can't be rude on the streets. You can't be rude at work, but you can be rude at home. Why? Why would you do that for? We
Mm.
don't treat our internal people, the people that we love a lot more with the respect and kindness too. Are you okay?
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah,
Do
that's
you
an
get what I mean?
interesting.
Like, would you
Mm.
really? Oh, there's something I saw. I don't know if I saw it. I just remembered I don't know if someone spilled something in the house, and I said to myself, "Hold on a minute. If your friend spilled that, what would you do at work? You would say to them, "Don't worry about it. I'll clean it up for you. Or I'll find
Yeah.
someone to clean it up
Yeah.
for you." But because it's your daughter who's done it, you're shouting at your daughter. Why did you do that for? You're
Mm.
clumsy or something. So can you see that there's a mistreatment somewhere because now you
Yeah.
got used to that person. You can say whatever, but actually, when you look at that person as your friend, would you really have said it that way?
Exactly. That's
Mm.
true. That's true.
Do you get what I mean? So
I agree.
hear you say things.
Sometimes similar things I say to my daughter. Sometimes I'm saying, come. Don't say to me like that. Will you say that to your teacher? And then she catches herself like, that's true. I wouldn't say to Mr. This or Miss This that way. I said, don't do that. Don't do that. And then I also have to remind myself as well as I'm telling her, you won't say that to you won't respond to your teacher like that. You're scared of your teacher. So what makes you feel like you can slam the door just because I corrected you can slam the door when you can't do it to your teacher? So that's similar thing that
It's
we
even in the business world that happens a lot. Our own people don't support you.
yeah,
They're the ones the quickest to run you down. Which is a bit strange.
yeah.
It hurts.
It's over familiarity. Over familiarity. That's
It's crazy.
yeah, no, it's not nice. It's not
Mm.
nice. When it
You
starts to
think
happen in
your
relationship,
own people will be the ones who be supporting you doing the most, but actually they're quickly to run you down. Them, which
You
is
know
a bit
why?
like what?
When I first started driving Uber and I was like getting to know Uber, I remember the my own people were the ones that were giving me the bad stars.
Yep.
And I
It's
was
a
saying,
bit
I'll
like
be like, when the black person walks in the car, I'll be like, Jesus.
another bad review coming up.
Like, I was like, here we
they'll
go.
put
Let's
you on
embrace ourselves.
blast.
But speaking about that though, what I have also found is the worst Uber drivers I have had are people of my race. Where yes, where I have hopped on an Uber and you find this Asian guys. Is he okay? I'm on the phone. And then I'm thinking, why are you taking my permission? Oh, and then I'm like, oh, of course it's fine. This after they have said hello and hi, and then they're like, "Is it okay? I'm on the phone." I'm like, "No, it's fine. Of course, it's fine." He has the earphone, and I find the same people of me. As soon as you come in, you are even saying good morning. They don't even respond. As soon as you're sat there, the door is closed. They just continue that conversation. Reading
Oh
out.
wow. They don't even acknowledge you.
Yeah, and then because I've had so many Uber drivers, I'm thinking I can categorically tell the difference. And people,
It's
yeah,
crazy, right?
some of the best conversations I've had have been with Uber drivers. They're like, "Oh, my child attends here, my child attends here." But all these conversations, I'm telling you, never with an African person. You're chatting, you're saying, or you can say, "Oh, hey, hello." They just give you one word answer, and then
Even if they speak your language as well, they will not
I,
engage.
I don't even speak my language. I just speak English. I didn't. My parents didn't grow me up. Sorry, I'm completely lost. My parents didn't
Yeah.
grow up in tribe, so I'm sold out to England or English. But yeah,
Well, you don't speak Yoruba or whatever.
I can understand, but I never grew up with any tribe. We grew up in the house speaking English.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So yeah, that's it. So yeah, sometimes it happens because of their behaviors, and that's what you get. And it
It's
happens
crazy.
in relationship and marriage as well. People get too familiar with you. You become like part of the furniture, and they're just thinking this person.
Actually, I can relate to that message. That is so true.
Mhm.
What Sandra just mentioned. Yeah, even your home, even your family, people like the way they'll treat you is not as good as the outside world. You'll be like, what? Is
And
that familiarity?
we don't talk nice to each other. We don't talk nice and sweet to each other. It feels
Yeah, I
like
agree. Very aggressive.
the same. It takes the same energy for you to say, "Honey, I love you. I just don't like that." And you say, "What kind of food is this? Get this out. I don't want it." Their attitude, though, they're speaking to people so rough.
Simple.
Feels like you have to be somewhere else with somebody else for you to be able to speak softly, maybe at work
Yeah.
somewhere. And then when you come home, you take off that coat and your real self comes out where you're yelling and commanding people. No.
Yeah. But our work is a different guy. He's all smiling with everybody.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
want even he would even make coffee.
Help you. Yeah,
The
exactly.
pussy.
You're going to the kitchen, you're like, does anybody need anything? I'm going to Sainsbury's downstairs. Does anybody want anything? Well, you're like, get me this, do that.
Mm.
No,
He
the
he
tone
will even he will even change the accent while he's at work.
exactly
He's
right.
a chameleon. Ah.
The
Can
tone.
I remember Can I say something? I remember my one of my sister's ex, well, I'll say ex boyfriend, said to me one time that when you are with somebody, they should make you feel at home, because you should feel safe at home,
Your own
because
home.
because when you go out to work, or when you go out on the streets, or when you go out in an environment, what's happening is, with you, is like you are now facing the crisis. You're facing so many problems. You can go at work, and someone at work can stress you out, but when you come home,
It should be
you
your
should
safe
be you
haven.
should be able
Yeah,
to, it should be a safe haven for you. And if someone can provide that for you, then you know you're with the right person. And I
you're
remember
right.
him saying that, and I thought, you know what, that's actually, I've never thought about that, but when you think about it, that's actually
Mm.
really good. Because if you can provide a good environment for me when I'm at home, and I can provide the same environment for, because I want to be honest, I want to be in a relationship when I can actually come home and we're going to be cute together. You know, like we're going to be massaging each other's feet. And I know it sounds a bit crazy, but I like that romance things. You know, like just to chill out with each other, and just
Mm.
like, I've had a bad day, but you know, you're the best thing. I can't wait to come home to you, because you're the best thing in my entire life. You know, because you
I
make
agree with you, you know.
you rock my world. We got one more, I think we got one last question. If we haven't answered it already, we should. I think we've already answered it. You know, I'm not even sure, but I think we've already answered it. How can someone protect their emotional safety?
Mm.
Do you want me to start? How can they protect their emotional safety?
I would say set boundaries from the start. The things you can accommodate, the things you're willing to accommodate, and your vulnerabilities from the start. When you lay it out there, you're giving the other person an opportunity to also be vulnerable and set their own pace with you. And then if you're really committed to each other, you work towards helping each other and balancing each other out. So then this person knows, I know your weakness, I know what you don't like, I know, and then I'm willing to support you with that. And then because I know yours, I have also told you mine, and I will expect the same level of support and grace from you. That's in an ideal world where people love each other and expect and support each other. But in a case where things go out of plan, then you just need to catch it early when someone's trampling on your emotional and mental state, and then you start to deal with things how best you can.
Anil, what do you think? How could you protect your emotional safety
In a relationship or home?
in a relationship, and overall, I think, as well? Whether you're single or married. I mean, I know you're married, but I mean, you can give us a marriage perspective of it.
Mm. It's hard sometimes, you know. Again, it's that trust element. Some people, you struggle, they can use it to their own advantage.
Yes, true.
So it's careful who you tell and who you share with, you know, because some people, when you're the lowest or you're going through things emotionally high, they could use it against you.
Mm.
Um, in a relationship, again, it's like your home is the most important element, you know, it's your safety, is where you can be yourself, you know. So the first one I share with my wife, you know, the good and the bad, you know, and that sometimes helps to speak things throughout. Sometimes when you keep things to your chest, you're kind of suffering in silence, it's just making it worse.
Mhm.
So is I like to get different perspective. Even these discussions that we've had today in the last 3 hours, I've learned some new things, you know, different perspective, you know. So there's lessons and learning to say, you know what, I'm gonna take some of these recipes to improve on what I already do, you know,
Yeah, we live
Mm.
because
to
it's
learn. We live to learn,
yeah,
don't we? Yeah.
yeah, because the problem that happens when you're in a relationship or you're married, again, there's these titles that people give you, and sometimes you can be excluded from the reality what's happening, you know.
True.
So that which is not good, you know, which is not good, and speaking to different women and dating all these things, it does really help you because sometimes when people are married, they're kind of like you're in a closed gate. you know. But when you
Mhm.
speak to other people who are facing things, or you actually realize there's a lot happening out there, you know, or
Yeah.
there's ways I could better do things to get my emotional protection at home. So yeah, that's my take on to this, to be honest. And it's been a very good debate. Good, you know, lots of good perspective. Let me put it that way.
I like what you said about what did you say? You said about knowing having knowing that you can go to that part of your wife and you can go and be yourself and be able to
Hmm.
share things with your wife, and and know and how and knowing that that person's gonna actually respect you and allow you to be emotional. I also think as well, do you think, I'm gonna ask one more question. Do you think that do you have things that you tell your wife, Luke, I don't want anyone to know this, or you can talk about this, or you can share
What?
this?
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
like in terms of boundaries, like there's things that, say for example, some people feel comfortable talking about their sexual life in front of other people and some people don't. So would you say that you spoken to your wife about those things, like, you know what, I'm okay with you talking about our sex life, or I'm not okay with you doing that, or do you know what I mean? Like, there's, like you said about boundaries, some people don't know what they can and can't talk about, and sometimes, or what they can and can't share with other people, and sometimes having that conversation with your partner will help. Do you think that it's, when you share things with your wife, do you automatically assume that she should keep that quiet, or do you automatically assume that she shouldn't share it with anybody else?
Well, some things it's for just for ourselves. I'll talk to her about anything, even the good and the bad. And sometimes the way I used to put messages across, I don't always say things in the nicest way, we've gathered from this combo. Sometimes is I don't mean any harm. I
No, I
don't.
know
I,
that. We know that.
yeah,
We know
yeah.
that.
I don't mean any harm. It's just who I am. The way I say things can come like raw. You know, it's just what comes up. And I've learned to say sometime, yeah, just to cool it down, turn it down,
Be
to explain.
tender. Be
Hmm?
tender. Be
Y-
tender with
Yeah,
her.
to
Tender.
to to ex- to explain to somebody, because sometimes your message, again, that communication can come
Yeah.
across the wrong way, you know. So I've learned to say the bad and the good to her in a certain way, you know, because that helps to feel like, you know, I feel safe, you know. In a relationship, really, to make it work, you can't hide, you know, because if you hide, you're gonna be found out. So, which is the whole theme of this discussion. I need to be able to speak to anybody in my house, any woman, any man,
Safe
not feel,
and be
not
safe.
feeling and
Yeah.
not feeling anywhere, because I'm in the public eye. I speak to a lot of people, but there's boundaries. And my wife knows that. She's thinking like, is there anything happening? No, I speak to a lot of ladies for work, for different things, and it's normal. And that kind of gives stability. Whereas not everybody's fortunate to have like what I have in my relationship. Because some people, they have to hide.
Yeah.
They can't. They can't even be talking about these discussions on YouTube or in their home. They have to be elsewhere. So yeah.
I get that. I get that. We're gonna round it up a bit now. I just wanted to add one last thing about emotional safety. How can someone protect their emotional safety? I think sometimes we have to give our emotional safety to God as the foundation. I mean, I don't know, if not everyone believes in God, but if you have a faith, or if you believe in something, you have that as a foundation, instead of having a human being as somebody you're gonna anchor your emotions to, and because human beings do falter. I remember being in a work environment, and this woman, because I was working in a corporate environment, and this woman said to me, Sandra, you know everyone talks, right? She's like, don't think people are gonna keep anything quiet. People talk, and you can't turn around and say people don't talk, and you can't say so and so won't say this, or so and so won't say that. But I think you also have to understand that if you've shared something with someone and they have not held you, they have not kept it quiet, they've they've used it against you, or they haven't appreciated how sensitive it is for you, then you have to have an understanding that actually that person doesn't hold you. God holds you. And sometimes you have to, like, we're back to the forgiveness. You forgive, you got to forgive people if they do falter. You got to forgive yourself if you've become emotional in front of someone and they haven't held you as they should have done. So I think and I think in the end you have to understand that the only person that can hold you is God. The only person that I'm not saying don't share your things to other people. Don't share your emotions to your wife or to your husband. No, I'm saying you can share all these things, but if they don't hold you the way you want to be held, or if they don't give you that space, if they do tell other people about your business and you don't want them to know about your business or something along those lines, you know that they're just human beings, and forgive them, because human beings sometimes falter, and you have to then appreciate the fact that you've got faith, and faith will hold you no matter what.
True.
Okay, so Bliss, do you have anything at the end do you wanna share with us, like as a closing?
Yeah,
We,
well,
we,
pardon?
yeah, so no, because I know we can go on forever, but we're not
No,
gonna do that.
because
We're gonna have
I have an early start in the morning, so I need to run as well. But I do starting a program where I support women over 50. It's called Sovereign. It's called Survival to Sovereign, where women have held themselves, they've been closed off, they've worked, they've done things for everybody else but themselves, and now they're turning 50 and beyond, and then they're looking at themselves. I haven't really held my own. I haven't really made time for myself. So in that regard, I speak to women about relationships. I speak to women about emotions and things like that. I'm just saying most of what we've talked about today: be safe, know you, want for yourself what you've given to other people, want it now for yourself. And if anything in and around you isn't serving you well, be upfront, be free to speak about it, be free to walk away from it. But in all of it, like I would say, and I would want, expect love all the time. Reach out in love all the time and give love as much as possible so that you can receive it back. Thanks for this conversation, guys.
Thank you, darling. What about you, Anil? Is there something you'd like to share before we close?
Yeah, as we've been discussing, if you're struggling, don't suffer in silence. Speak up. There's plenty help out there, and it's important to be nice to people, because being nice, it goes along the way, and it's important to be recognized. Everybody want to be recognized and appreciated. And
Mm,
if you're good, God will just send good energy towards you, So
And
okay. Okay, before we close, I just want to say one last thing. I don't want to make it long, but I think I want to make it a bit longer than I expected. This is something that I wrote down in order to sum up these questions that I've passed on to you guys, and you've answered very well. And I want to say thank you, by the way, before anything. Thank you so much for coming and being part of this conversation. It's been great. It's been fantastic. And Neil, you always deliver. Bless. Oh, you're such a blessing. I'm telling you now, you're such a blessing. I'm sure people have said that to you. You've always delivered as well. And I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing with other people. I just want to say one last thing. I used to believe that I needed a husband to have the full life. This is to my 10-year-old, to 10-year-old daughters, or to the sons that I never had, or the boys that are listening to this conversation. I used to believe that I needed to have a husband to have the full life, the house, the trips, the happiness. I was the little girl who drew her wedding dress at 10 years old. I knew how to be the wife. I knew how to be the mother. I knew how to build a career, and then life unfolded differently. I became a special guardian. I became a single parent, and I slowly realized something powerful. Marriage is beautiful, but it's not the reason I exist. Purpose does not wait for a ring. Peace does not wait for a title. When I look back at that little girl, I feel sad, but I also feel whole. Sad because life didn't follow the fairy tale. Whole because I've become stronger than the fairy tale ever required me to be. If she were watching me today, I would tell her, be yourself, choose peace, choose safety. Happiness will follow. Make God your emotional anchor. Forgive others, forgive yourself. And if you step outside your own boundaries, you can begin again. Purpose can still be fulfilled in whatever season you're in. Single, married, waiting, healing. You're not behind, you are becoming. Thank you for being part of this conversation, guys. Thank you so much. What happened to
I don't know,
to
maybe.
Bliss? I think
Maybe
the battery ran out.
same, maybe. That's why I have to use my other phone.
I think the Duracell battery ran out. Did
Yeah.
it run out? Should I just quickly try and invite her back to say goodbye? Hold on one second. Invite guest. I think I can do this. So she can come back on. So the battery must have run out. So hold on one.
It's been a long day after my 5 a.m. club, bro.
We're finished anyway. She's got an Alice out.
Yep.
Is she coming back on? She able to come back on? Is she sleeping?
Probably battery died.
She's totally knackered.
3 hours.
All right. So should I say goodbye? Really? Let's say goodbye. Is that okay? So but we've had a really good conversation, and I hope people can get a lot out of the conversation. All right. So, guys, I'm gonna say good night. God bless, and we all have the resources to fulfill our full potential in life. If you liked you know what? I didn't even say anything. If you liked what you're hearing, please subscribe to this channel. And if you have anything to say, please make comments below and join the conversation. We want to hear from you. If you have any questions, we want to answer those questions. We love you guys. Take care. God bless. And always stay true to yourself. This is Sandra wishing you always tremendous wealth and a healthy lifestyle. Good night. Good night. Good night. I think so.